Jade Dungey has built a career working alongside some of the best riders in Supercross, helping put championship-winning bikes on track.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, you sit back and like, I don't really want it to work for this many guys because you kind of want to stick with one, but like, I've been fortunate to work, with Kennard, and some of them might have not have panned out, but I'm still very fortunate to work with, like even Tickle, like it was a good ride.
From being a practice bike mechanic for his brother Ryan Dungey to now wrenching for his brother's former championship rival, Eli Tomac. Jade is no stranger to the effort it takes to compete at the highest level.
There's days like you put in the hours, you're like, dude, why the hell am I doing this? But like on build days, like that's when I'm like, okay, this is why I do this. I love working on the dirt bike, having it laid out. It's like a big puzzle piece. And build days when you win, you're like, oh, this is sick. And then build days when you're like, you get your ass handed to you, like, oh, this freaking sucks. What the hell am I doing? And it's just a roller coaster. Like, it's addicting.
And after finding out Eli was making the switch to KTM, Jade found himself thrown into a 450 Supercross Championship effort alongside one of the greatest to ever do it.
It's just a dream working for the dude because you're just like, what the heck? Like, pinch me, wake me up. You gave me Eli maybe 6-7 years ago. I'd be like, oh, like, this is a lot, but I think all my riders kind of led me to that point to be ready.
It's a role that lives behind the scenes, but plays out on the biggest stage, where trust, precision, and consistency can make or break a season. The pressure having Eli Tomac ride your motorcycle.
I always make sure I do my job, but like there's an added, like I gotta be on top of my shit, because when this guy goes first lap, it's not just roll around and get used to it. It's fucking rad. He goes for it.
This is a look into one of the sport's most important roles. Gypsy gang, welcome Jade Dungey to the podcast. I'm going to interrupt this podcast to bring you a pretty crazy statistic. 70% of people that watch this channel are not subscribed. That does a couple of things. A, that means that you might not be getting served this content the minute that it comes out. And it also just tells YouTube that they're not really worth watching. So if you want to support the podcast, the easiest and quickest, most high impact thing you can do is subscribe to this channel, give this podcast a like, and leave a comment down below to let us know who you would like to see on Gypsy Tales next. We're going to do our best to bring them to you. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
I met a gypsy.
Jade Dungey,
What's up?
pull up to that microphone there, brother. Let's lock in.
Dude, this is cool.
I'm stoked.
I'm pumped.
You know who's very stoked we're doing this? Jeremy Malott.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because TK, Tyler Keefe, he has this app, and I guess it tracks like social media.
Oh, yeah.
And around Christmas time, I was posting stupid crap with Eli, like trying to be, funny. And dude, I was up to like 2 million views or whatever. And he was like comparing me to the riders, and he's like, dude, you're just crushing it. And then Jeremy was like, oh, we need to give you like a contract to be like a content guy. And I was like, I'll wear the Red Bull hat. I'll be the first mechanic wear a Red Bull hat sponsored.
Oh, so. Dude, it is funny. Because he would always be like, dude, did you see what Jade posted? Did you see what Jade posted? And then when I pulled up today, I'm like, oh, look at this influencer guy. Waiting to do his podcast.
Well, my wife always gets mad at me. She's like, what are you doing this stupid, like I'll post just stupid stuff, but I'll be on the phone for like 10 minutes making like an edit. And she's like, what are you doing? But I'm like, dude, I got 250K likes. Like, look at this. So I don't make anything from it. It's just fun. Screw around.
Yeah, it's just good bands with the boys. Yeah. Well, you got a lot of travel. You're going back. You're going forward. A lot of airports. A lot of downtime.
Yeah, half the time, like people are like, how do you make? What are you doing? I'm like, dude, honestly, just sitting there airplane just 10 minutes and it's the edit app and boom, it's done. So I don't know. It's fun.
So funny. But on the other side of that, very serious mechanic.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be at this level.
Very high level. You've got a bit of online gesturing, and then also just one of the elite level mechanics of the sport.
And then this year with Eli, like some of my riders have been kind of like, you take APs just to screwing off, like, which is a good thing that helps them perform. But like then you got Eli on the other hand, and he's just so like locked in. So like I kind of have to like navigate that a little bit because I don't want to piss him off a little bit because I know him now, but like. At first, you're like, dude, this Eli Tomac, dude, he's like locked in. So there's a time and place, but we got a good balance.
So let's go there. What's the very first moment you realized that you will be wrenching for the beast?
Shoot, it was around mid outdoors, I think. Around Supercross mid outdoors, we didn't really know what was going on with Chase. Like, I thought he was gonna stay, and stuff. And then next thing you know, I saw. I think it was Steve Mathis posted something on Twitter, Tomac KTM or DeCoster, and I went to the boss and like, hey, is this true? And and they're
Sorry for everyone. We had an audio thing, and now we're just mid-conversation. So we'll get back to the Tomac thing. We might as well just start here. But I posted a thing on socials the other day, and it was every rider on the 450 podium. I'm glad I'm alive.
I seen that, dude. It was,
And you know how many fucking dudes text me and were just like, bro, it was the worst. We're so sick of it. And it's like that narrative just isn't getting out there. Like no one says it in the press conferences because no one's asking about it because everyone from Feld is standing right there and they'll pull your media pass. And it's like none of the boys are going out on their own platforms and saying it because then the backlash that they get from the, 50% of people that are like, harden up, you fucking pussy. And then the other 50% of people that are just like, yeah, this is bullshit. Like, but dude, go back and watch 06, 07, 08.
Yep.
It was not like this. I feel like I'm not watching dirt bike races anymore. I feel like I'm watching like at Erzberg in a stadium. And it's like someone's going to win, and it's just whoever gets out front and can ride the track.
When it's bad, I always say like, "Oh, who survived Death Cross this weekend?" Like it's tough too. And a lot like say this weekend, you'd have took out that wet dirt, maybe the track wouldn't have been as gnarly. But the jumps were like this, and like I said, it's a double-edged sword, But like Eli this weekend, like he's been doing this a long time, and my Instagram was blown up like, shit, you guys got to fix the bike. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you got to sit back and you're like, okay, it was a tough race, but like, we still have the red plate.
Yeah.
But Eli's the type of guy, he's been doing this a long time. And like I said, he's going to have those races where it's tough, but he didn't land on his head this weekend. And that track is, I mean, it sucks not to talk about Chase in a bad way, but look what happened to him. Like, that could have been us if you start not comfortable and you start pushing it over your head. Like, so I feel like, Eli wasn't happy with the weekend, but at the same time, like, big picture, we're still there. I mean, this weekend I don't know when people are gonna see this, but Nashville's this weekend, and we need to get on top this weekend, to have a chance. But it's like we're still in it. Sucks those last two races were tough. Birmingham, he was sick, but we're still there, big picture. But we just can't panic. And like I said, back to your point, like we did press day, and I'm like, not to sound like a puss, but I'm like, I'm not riding the bike. I'm just like, holy shit, this is when you see top guys like almost endoing and like just it's not fun to watch.
Yeah. No, and the thing that we were talking about off air that got us onto this was we were talking about F1 and how Verstappen is just openly flaming the entire sport. And it's like we kind of don't have a Verstappen right now that's doing that, But like why you have these top guys, and so the top guys do complain about the track, and there is group messages, but nothing changes, right?
Well, I think their time crunch is so small too, but it's like, if you just made that, like I said, the track guys, they're doing so much, but like they're not riders, so like I get it, they're in a tough spot, they're doing the best they can, but like if the rider's saying, hey, this is gnarly, and you should kind of maybe address it a little bit, but like I'm saying, it's a time crunch, there's only so much they can do, but I feel like a lot of stuff could be maybe better on that end,
Yeah, and you've got like the I guess like what's it, Liberty.
Yeah.
So you got Liberty that's like making these decisions about the sport and regulations, and it's like they suck.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying they suck, and no one listens. Like why? There's such a disconnect between the athletes that are the show and the guys with their lives on the line, and then the people that make the decisions that affect their life.
Yeah.
And the guys are screaming out at them, and it's like, let's just
listen to a couple.
Let's listen to them. Let's just go the other way. Let's make it too hard.
Yep.
Let's just see if we can do that. Yeah. Because right now we're on this other end of the spectrum, and it just never looks like it goes that way. But
and like Verstappen, he's like he's one of the best. So if this guy's saying that, hey, maybe we should listen to him a little bit. Like this guy's an idiot. He's not doing it just to be sulking because he's losing. Like even if he was off, he should still be close to where he should be. So no, I think that if the riders, like even if one of the riders not comfortable with a dirt bike, we could just be like, yeah, shut up, ride the dang thing. But like you're not going to get the best out of that guy. So like you just be open and listen.
And there has to the mechanic analogy is like the perfect analogy, right? Because there's a point where you've got to listen, but then there's a point where you're just like, okay, man, like this might be you. There's probably been times in Ryan's life where you've had to have that conversation, but in this example, it's like, okay, the tracks are obviously too soft. We don't see any racing. We don't see any passing that's not somebody making a mistake in a rhythm section. Like, that's literally it.
Yeah. I think they're trying to slow everything down so everything's like this.
Yeah.
And when you have a hard pack track, okay, that's going to slow it down. But dude, if you go walk, like we walk these tracks afterwards, and I'm like, dude, you guys are crazy. Like, I don't even know how you were, like Seattle, when Eli won, or like he looked good in the whoops, and then you go walk the track, and you're like, how? I don't even, like, it's scary. Like, so it's just goes to show how talented these guys are. But like I said, we kind of got to do something on the back end, because like, if you look, everybody's saying this, it's a long series, but there's only the last 2 years, 3 years, there's only 1-2 guys who've done all 32 or 33 races. So
that's
like,
a huge problem.
Yeah. And then by the time that 30, if he did do the 32, the guy's probably smoked. Like, he's mentally exhausted. So it's tough. Like I said, the fans are, my Instagram was blowing up this weekend. Like, what the hell are you guys doing to Eli? And you're like, it's just, sometimes he's human, you know, like you're not going to be perfect. You just got to pace yourself and be in it at the end. And that's kind of, what he's doing. And I have faith in him. Like, everybody's like, he's hurt. He's not hurt. It's just, it's just tough. It's dirt bikes. He's human.
I knew, it's funny. I've said it. So that there'll be like a couple pods that'll probably come out before this.
Yeah.
But I watched JB's thing the other day, and he's like,
I see that.
Dude, that was a compelling breakdown. Like, I was like, dude, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
But then the very next day, we were supposed to do this last week.
Yep.
And then you text me like, we can't do it. I've got to go testing with Eli. And I'm like, well, he's definitely not hurt.
No.
But man, at some point, like, the guy is human. Mm-hmm. He has had very few bad races, and it's year one on the KTM.
Yeah. I mean, like, you back up to Australia, dude, people were losing their noodle, like, honeymoon's over, and it's like, it's part of racing now. Like, the bikes are so advanced, and like I said, each bike, each rider, their window, you have to try to have a big window for setup, but like, you could be a couple clicks off, and that could make or break their whole day. So, like I said, it's life, and you just got to keep calm and don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. So. Have you ever really thought about hydration? I bet you haven't, but I have, and that's why I am on a mission to hydrate action sports with my new company, SOTA Fuel. You can look at any study. Hydration is one of the key factors in human performance. And action sports is about as high performance as it gets, and there are extreme consequences to not being locked in. Find out more about how important hydration is for you, and if you're leaving performance on the table, by heading to sotafuel.com. So let's go back to that original conversation then. So you're working with Chase.
Yep.
You think that that's just going to keep going into the future, and then at what point do you figure out that you're going to be a mechanic for the beast?
Yeah, I think it was around August. They kind of pulled me in the office, and they, I just want to have a job because like KTM's been really good for me. They pay us good. They take care of us, like, and it's 5 minutes from my house. So like for my family life, like I need to stay at KTM. But then in the back of your head, you're like, okay, do I have a rider? Am I going to get some squirrel? Or, like I didn't know. And then, so there's a lot of
squirrel.
Then I hear Prado's coming, like, okay, hopefully I can get a good guy like that. And then they bring me in the office, and I didn't even know Eli was really an option, just because with him and Ryan got along good. Like there was no fighting or anything, but they were rivals. And so I didn't know how it was. And I'd never talked to the family.
True.
Like I'd always say hi and stuff. Like, I feel like Tomac's got their group, and they keep it quiet and tight. So when they brought me in the office, said, hey, can you work for Eli? I'm like, hell yeah. Like I have a job and I get to work for a good dude. Like sign me up. And then the dad joked, he's like, the only thing he's got to do is get a Tomac tattoo. So it's kind of funny, but dude, from the get go, they've been good people. And you've heard interviews with Ian and everybody talking, like we've raced them so many years. So like working with him, it's really cool. Cause like, okay, now I see how he ticks and like how he operates, and they're first class people, like how they handle business. Even after the race, like if something's not perfect, no, I didn't hit this corner right. Where the new age riders, they'll be like, no, my bike's this, and this guy takes 100% accountability, and and he steers the ship. You know, the riders can really make a team go this way or that way, and he's a good dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I didn't even really think about that aspect of him and Ryan battles for championships.
And like, I don't think like they're competitors, so there was never like, I feel like nowadays you got Deegan talking shit to, that's just part of him. Those guys were two like professionals. So
absolute gentlemen.
Yeah, so there was no, he's like, screw, fighting or anything. So that was kind of cool. So
they're like, I challenge you to a duel. I'm like, okay, I will see you there. Just shake each other's hand.
Funny. No, like I said, it's surreal, and like I said, we're getting on the tail end of his career, but
are we though?
I don't know. Like,
how good is he,
dude? He's everybody's elevated and everybody's like, oh, he's old, but like, dude, look where he's at. He's probably riding
as good as ever.
And like I said, I don't want it to be over because I'm enjoying, like, it's been so fun as a mechanic and working for a guy who I've been lucky with all my guys. They're all, good riders. So it's just enjoyable. I love it. So.
Dude, so cool. So walk us through like the first little bit. Like, so you get a new rider, you're getting a new rider. What's that like transition period from an old guy to a new guy look like?
It was tough because I feel like I found out Chase was going to Cowie, and then they didn't ask me, which is fine. Like, and I, even if they did, I don't think it's just too far away from my house. I went to Honda with him at Factory Honda, and I left Factory Honda only because it's like Myriad to Torrance every day. It's just, I can't do it.
Yeah.
If I was single, I could do it, but no. But so, found out Eli's coming, and we kind of knew Chase was going, but you're going to give the fullest to that rider. Like, there's no hard feelings. It's business at the end of the day for the teams. So you're going to give 100% till the very last time they ride that bike. And we did. And I know outside looking at it probably didn't look pretty, but I know myself, the team, we wanted to win. We gave it 100%. But then when that was over, Eli hadn't even ridden the bike yet. And I probably built 8 bikes because he told us, hey, we're going to do World Supercross. And usually the Austrians are kind of like, overseas races. No, but we're like, hey, we're going to use it to learn the bike and learn him. So we're not going to Anaheim 1 like, cold turkey. And so that actually helped us. And like you said, Australia was tough, but then we learned about the paddle, and it helped us get to Anaheim 1. And by the time Anaheim 1 happened, he knew the bike, and it was just that much easier.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, 8 bikes straight up.
Yeah, I had two at his house because he's got a practice bike mechanic, Kyle. So we had 2 bikes there. I had a test bike, 2 race bikes I had to build, a Florida bike I had to build, and then I built my Anaheim race bike eventually. And dude, I still to this day I have bikes everywhere. Like, there's one at Alden's from when he rode back in November, just sitting there in case he ever wants to go. And it's a lot of parts, but it's pretty cool.
That's wild. Yeah, so you guys operate at a very high level. I think all of the teams do.
Yeah.
But I think that KTM has always been a real fuck it.
No,
like, we're going in, boys.
And you kind of have to nowadays. Like, you could bring one bike to the track, but if you're testing engine stuff, you have to pull an engine out, put it in. But if you have 2 bikes, boom, your day's cut in half, and you can do more in that period. Because like when Ryan was racing, you just had one bike, a practice bike, and then if we had to do an engine swap, you're gonna lose with about an hour, and then the kind of the day the track goes to shit, and you're losing time. So now you just try to knock it out as soon as you can. And some guys are picky, but Eli, he rode all those bikes and never said one word. This bike feels this, like all of them felt the same. So like that was huge for us. So you're building these bikes, and you've got basically a spec sheet. Like, you're building them to a spec. So like measuring every bar, every clamp, every clicker, everything is. You're making these bikes as exact as possible. Yeah. So the biggest thing, like on my end, like I don't really get a spec sheet. Like, there is a spec sheet, but I just from repetition, you kind of know their stuff. The biggest thing Eli's finicky is the bars, like the position. And the first couple times we worked with him, he'd said, I'd put it on, he'd go like this, move it. So Roger's like, screw this, we're just gonna make a jig. So now every time he hops on that bike, I have my number, it's set. There's times the last couple races, I think he's just he'll move it a couple like here and there, but dude, there's times he just yep, it's good, I'll go. And I think that's just him being comfortable, and he can just focus on what he needs to do.
So you have a actual jig that...
Yeah, Raj made this, like we were messing with Eli because he's like, he said, I've always messed with my bars. Even if they're perfect, I'm going to touch them. Like, it's what I do. So Raj made this jig with a caliper. And it's a lot harder when you got not a crossbar, because if there's a crossbar, you have like a reference. So Raj made this jig, and it's so simple. Like, you and I wouldn't even think of like, oh, that's what Raj does. He just comes up with wild stuff like that. So now I set it, and boom, it's good to go, and there's no second guessing, and it's always on that spot.
Dude, I need to make one of these for one of my boys.
It's sick.
I got a mate. Next time he comes to the US, he's a Aussie fella, and he would be probably one of the world's best test riders.
Really?
Like, dude, we used to fuck with him. Like, we would move his bars like $500,000.
Yep.
And he would sit on them. And so he's a good rider. Like, he's won the world vets, like the 40, 45. Like,
yeah.
he rips. He started riding in his 30s. So, like,
it's kind of late bloomer.
Crazy guy.
That's wild.
Like, no, started riding in his 30s.
No, wow.
Not even racing, just riding. Like, wild. But, man, he just has the craziest feel for a motorcycle. And, yeah, we used to fuck with him at our local races, and we'd move his bars and Bill, come on, who the fuck did that? Like, he would blow up, dude, over literally, like, not even a millimeter.
Well, and you think of that, and he's only been doing that short time. Now you got these top guys that, like I said, if they're having an off night, it could be one click, and you're like Ryan was the same way. Like, I was younger, so I wasn't like his race mechanic, but like I was doing test bike stuff. We had to take the shock and do one click because he liked to tinker a little bit. Well, they made it like a half click. So yeah, he thought he was getting a one click, but he was getting a half because one was big for him. So we just do a little bit, and that's how finicky he was. Like I said, our bikes evolved over the years, and I feel like when Ryan got on that 15 model, the window was huge. The frame was everything.
They were so good.
Like, I think he went the whole Supercross season, same setting, maybe a couple clicks here and there, but for him it was huge. And but he would always he would let it ruin his night if it was one click off, and he just dwell on that.
Yeah.
And toward the end of his career, he kind of shut it off a little bit, and that helped. But yeah, he was picky.
Dude, I was at RC's at maybe 2015, so I think he was on the KTM.
It would probably right before he went to Eldon's. Probably he was still at the goat farm.
Yeah, and he came in, and Big Rick was doing his practice bike stuff then, and he came in. We were shooting a Suzuki commercial, and he was literally talking about like 1 millimeter of sag.
Yeah,
and Ricky fucking flew off the handle.
No,
he was pissed, dude.
Yeah.
Was like, I'm so sick of hearing this shit. Like, it was wild.
Well, it's crazy too, because like, the rider most of the time is always right, but like it gets to that point where they just start focusing on this bike, and you're like, okay, it's not going to be perfect, but they like let it hinder him. Where Eli's like, he knows like it's not going to be perfect. Like, any bike you ride is, so he gets it in the window where he's pretty happy, and then he knows like, hey, I can make up for that with my body and stuff. So I think that, and like I said, that's gonna come with age. I'm sure like you guys got guys like Chase right now and stuff. Eventually, as you get older, I'm sure. Like even Kenny was no angel. Like I was at Honda, and
he was gnarly,
dude, he would do a half lap, dude, and it was just never ending. But I think as you get older, you know, like us, like stuff comes that you learn, you live, and I think that's why you're seeing like guys like Kenny, Eli, more, setup isn't the end of the world, and they can just ride it. But I say that the last 2 weekends has been kind of tough, but no, it's just the brain's powerful. You can do more than what I can do with a couple clicks, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think about this all the time because now I used to care because I kind of had time to care about my bikes and setup and all of that shit. And obviously, like, completely different. Like, so it's not the same thing, but I mean, I used to care to where I'd set everything up and I'd do sag every time. And now I'm just like, dude, I can ride with kind of a little bit twisted even if I crash. I'm like, just go whatever. Yeah. After 3 laps, surely it'll go out of your mind. And I think there is a thing with those, the very top guys, where it's like, it's so pronounced and so obvious to them. It would just be like a ringing in their ears.
Yeah. Well, like, look at their amateur career. I just looked like the bikes weren't as advanced when we were younger, but like my dad wouldn't even check tire pressure. Like, you'd be and if you had an off week and you're like, oh, I just suck at the amateur level. But now, I mean, you see Instagram and people know more like than we did back then. And it's like, and everybody wants, I feel like on the teams, everybody wants to have a say and be a hero. And you're like, you start nitpicking when there's really nothing there. And I think that these younger riders, they look into that and then they start thinking, okay, I need this to succeed. And you're like, dude, like so the team's a little bit not all not our team's pretty good, but like the teams are a little bit they want to help you, and they're just like that's where like when we got Eli, hey, can we help you with anything, dude? I just need a ride. Like Toronto, people were like going crazy. Like I think the second moto in Toronto World Supercross, Eli was struggling in the whoops, and we're like, hey, can we help you with anything? No, I'm an idiot. I just need to freaking come into that corner, and you're kind of like, oh wow, this is cool. Like
this is different.
Yeah, this is different. Like the riders saying, like, hey, it's me, and that's been this year. I feel like for our team is the riders. They basically say, hey, the bike's good. I can make up for it. If something's not perfect, I can adjust my body and technique can make up for it. So
it's funny. There's a thing, right, where it's like you've got the rider that's like giving their input and trying to, make it better for themselves. And then you've got this whole team dynamic. And it's like, maybe this suspension guy's new.
Yeah.
And maybe he's trying to make a mark that, and it's not out of negative, it's not a bad thing, but he's like, I think I got the problem. And then he's putting in his 2 cents, and then it affects the rider. And then now you've got this guy that's been there forever and knows that that's probably not going to work. And then he puts in his input. And man, that's a delicate balance of a lot of cooks in a kitchen.
Yeah. And that's you get 10 guys and you got 10 different opinions. So you got to be smart and not flood them, because like even the top guys, they're going to listen to that because they want to be better. And sometimes it's just too much information. So you got to be delicate a little bit.
Yeah.
But
have you seen that on teams where it's like you can kind of see that dynamic where it's like people are kind of leading each other in weird directions?
I think you see it with a lot of top teams. You guys probably don't see it behind because you're not, like you only see it from outside in, but like last year was tough, and you want the best for the guys, so you're gonna do whatever it takes. But sometimes you lead down a rabbit hole, and it's just racing's tough, man. It's you got to be on your game, and if you're off just a little bit, can make or break your day. And
is that what makes a top team is like that, how they can cut through that kind of noise and just be the most effective possible in a sense?
Yeah, you want to use your experience too, but also the biggest thing it took us, like we'll take AP for example. We've never had a guy like AP set up a bike the way he does. Like he likes a choppered, and so the first year we were trying to set it up like any other rider, like how just normal. And then we struggled that first year, but then we you learn them, and just deciphering what they're saying is a little tough because they're not telling you. They're explaining it, but they're not telling you like word for word. So you're kind of like, okay. But then the more we brought it like this, and it sounds stupid and easy, but like we kept going like that. Dude, next thing you know, guys winning races or podium, and you're like, okay. So like it's sometimes the guy's window is like this, and you just gotta get there, and it's sometimes it's tough. It's not easy. Everybody at Keyboard Warriors thinks it's easy, but it's tough.
So what's that look like? Is that how many millisag do you start at, and then where do you end up at, and then that's the thing?
Sometimes it's a little bit sag, but it could be like the way they run their forks, just the different part of stroke. They like it up here, where some guys like it up here, and it's more figuring out that because everybody thinks, oh, just put a long pull rod and lower the rear, and that's going to fix it. But then like you're going to come into other problems because now you're sitting in a crappy part of the stroke and it's harsh. So it's like they want their cake and eat it too. So you got to get the shock up in a better part of the stroke and then get the front. So it wasn't as just simple as lowering it. It was getting the balance, internal stuff. And so that's why it's on TV. Everybody's like, oh, just do this. But like I can lower the rear for Eli. Like if it is, a little bit too stink butt, but it's going to sit in a shitty part of the stroke. And then they're just, they don't have comfort. So it's a delicate thing,
So AP likes his forks pretty stiff, eh? Like because he likes to like really hit the front brakes hard.
His biggest thing, it's stiff. He likes compliancy, but he doesn't want that thing to come down.
Yeah. And
then next thing you know, a lot of the guys they're oversteering. The thing just starts going like this. So that was Eli or with AP. That was the biggest thing. If you didn't have it stiff enough, his biggest thing is like he didn't mind it being stink bug, but he just keep turning. And then as the moto got on, we got the bike good, but then the moto got on, and he kind of like you get back a little bit. And he's such a tall guy, so that's when we put the seat bump in. And the next thing you know, he's like, all right, if he got a little tired, he's not slipping back. So that helped, something simple like that. A seat hump helped him tremendous.
That's crazy.
So it's just like I said, at this level, it's just little tiny stuff that you try getting better. And But and even with Eli right now, it's sometimes you got suspension, but his engine is so fast. So like we get to these tacky tracks, he's like rip it and go. So like I feel like maybe that's why these tackier tracks have been a little bit tougher. But yeah, it's just a constant revolving.
I love it though.
Yeah, it's fun.
I was gonna say it's fun. I mean, I'm sure it's very frustrating when it's not working, but I mean the feeling and the freedom that you guys have, and the backing that you guys have to make the perfect dirt bike.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And like I don't know if you saw Eli, it was a couple weeks ago, or it was Indianapolis. He kind of said like, let's just make it an open class. Did the stuff you could do then, like frame, like it'd be unreal.
What would you do?
The biggest thing I feel like, and I don't think Europe, at least KTM's doing this, but back in like the 2-stroke days, dude, I remember my brother-in-law, Grant Langston, he said they would bring out 7 or 8 frames and you got to pick each frame, and same with swing arm, and they can do that over there. I don't think KTM's doing that from my understanding. Like we just kind of all run the same package because it works, but you could change the tube angle, there's a bunch of stuff you could do, and I think the frame is huge, so.
You know why they don't do it?
They don't really tell me why. I think the it costs a lot. Yeah. And then like back in the day when say the GPs, you probably only had 3 bikes through the whole season. Dude, now there's so much parts. The practice bike, the cost would be probably just way crazy.
Yeah, I think
a lot of it probably cost.
So Bill Savino, I had this conversation with him about it.
Yep.
Because I was like, dude, let's go. Let's fully send it. And he was saying that, I can't remember what year it was, but there was kind of a year where they all the manufacturers kind of came together and they were like, the stock production thing is fine. Yeah. Because otherwise, we're going to go full retard on this thing, and it's going to be a $20 million a year budget.
No, it's like I said, even the bikes right now, they're expensive. Everybody asks, hey, what's the price tag on our bike, each bike? It's hard because like it's not so much the part, it's a lot of small parts, but the machining's probably a lot more. But I would say close to 70, 80 if I were to put a number on it.
It'd have to be more than that.
I feel like it's not, because the machining now, like you look at factory Hondas back in the day, dude, not many people could machine a tie foot peg. Now you got Nihilo Concepts. They're knocking them out and selling them to the public. So I think machining costs have come down. So that's the big part of it. But still, 70, that's for a race team. And now you just got, back in the day, each guy had a race bike, practice bike, and then maybe a floater bike. So you had 3. Well, now, dude, most guys on teams 4 or 5 bikes. That's just the minimum, between practice, and then you're basically building a new bike every 30 hours, and you're only saving the suspension and engine. Everything else and the titanium bolts, but everything else is garbage. So it's a lot. Every time like I put a BART on, I found out like a map sensor cost, I think somebody said $300, and dude, you were changing those every race, and you're like, I got a bunch of I'm like, dude, I'm sitting here like $5,000, and it's just a stock. That's just stock, So I don't want to know the number of what stuff costs, because half the time you're just,
man,
like tear offs.
Yeah, so seriously. It's cool though that it's cool that the sport has gotten to that level, And I'm not going to get into it, but the whole privateer thing, it's just like, man, the sport's just so far gone now. Like I think that the idea of that we're holding on to and that we love about the privateers is just like, man, the delta between these two things is like when Mike Young won in 1987 at Daytona. Yeah. The bikes weren't this far apart. Like this is a whole thing now.
And I think the biggest thing between your privateer and Supercross, you can kind of wing it, but I feel bad for these guys come outdoors. Like
Really? You think it's worse than outdoors?
Just it's harder on the equipment. Like unless you get a mutter in Supercross, I don't know how these guys do it, because like we try to save stuff. But like, dude, our bikes, like after what was it, San Diego a couple years?
Yeah.
The bike was garbage. Like the limes, it just destroyed everything. So I don't even know how these guys are. Like I feel bad for them. It's brutal, and they're probably not making much. And so, but my biggest thing is like they get to outdoors, and if you're doing the whole series and you have a minimum budget, dude. Our bikes are, after 2 motos and the way these guys are out, they're garbage, like not because the parts are bad. It's just the shit's hard.
I remember, pull up the video of Eli doing the crossing the finish line at Daytona in like 2024. I want to
Oh,
say.
it was muddy, and he was smoking at the
The
end.
bike is fucked.
Yeah, we're
like the entire bike is cooked.
We're like watching. I remember that race because the mechanics area was a huge rhythm section, and we're watching like, dude, the thing's smoking. It's gonna go, and he made it to the
And
end.
nothing, and that was just because he was riding it.
Yeah, I
like
think
it wasn't a mechanical.
Yeah, it just got hot, and then I guarantee that probably head gaskets blowing like, everything's getting hot. Your cams are probably done. It's just after that you got at this level you got to build new because it's like you can't risk having those parts because it could have a DNF potentially down the line. Because we try to like on the engine side you have hours and so you reuse a lot of stuff, but like you have a race like that, like you can't risk it.
Yeah, it's just the thing's cooked. So just go to the finish. Or is this? Oh, is that the year Jett won?
Yeah, it was Jett won I think 24. It was him and Eli, but I remember it had rained, but his bike was smoking. I remember at the very end, and you're like, how did he finish?
Go back to some shots of Eli. What was it? Maybe it was 2023 then, but I remember like he just pulled off the track, and it was just smoking, bro. Like it was so cooked, and nothing happened. Like that was just him doing a motor. It must be 2023, but yeah, like that's the level that these dudes are riding.
Like even look at this, like, dude, the ruts.
Yeah, that's it. There, go down to that one.
The ruts are just having to jump those rhythms with the track conditions. Like these guys are. That's not like a puss. They're crazy. Like I'm glad I'm not a racer.
Yeah, maybe it's that one. Yeah, it was that year there, whatever year that was. But yeah, like I just remember, fast forward to the end of it, where you can see his bike, where he comes like go back as he crosses the finish line, and then it's just like he pulls up, and look at the
look at his mom.
Yeah,
and I guarantee you that bike is so hot right now. He's gonna do a burnout, and it's done.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, that's probably tire smoke, but I think the thing's just pissing cooling.
Yeah, there was a shot of it like on the broadcast.
I remember seeing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that bike apart from Tomac was on it for 25 minutes. That's the only thing.
The guy's an animal. That's why when he came to the team, we're kind of like, all right, given his track record, and like I said, we haven't had a mud race, so like cross our fingers. But like, he's hard on shit. But like, knock on wood, we've been pretty like. I don't know if it's because KTM and like our stuff, like it costs more to like the general public when you buy a stock bike, but like the parts are good. Like it's built. You're paying more, but you're getting more. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. But
I will say I've owned a lot of KTMs since probably 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done anything to them.
Dude, you'll get vet guys coming up. I did 100 hours on my piston. I'm like, hey, that's gnarly. I mean, good for you, but you're like, dude. But
I'm slow. Like I'm just not. The bikes are better than me these days.
I mean, it's to the point now. Like we got. I don't know how other manufacturers. We got R&D, and when the bikes come out, they've already done 3-4 years on that model, like testing it, and the amount that stuff. Like you got pros riding it, like they're trying to make it like when you go race, it's like it's good to go. Like it sucks for your general consumer, but it's built for racers. So like the technology is like the bikes are good. Like I'm sure each OEM has their positive and negatives, but it's. The stuff that's going to come on production bikes in probably the next couple of years is probably going to like be stupid. It's like,
do you get any insight into that?
I'm probably not supposed to talk about, but you get to like R&D is like right next to us. Like R&D America or USA side, and they got Austria side too. But there's some cool shit.
Really?
Yeah. You're just like some of the new prototype stuff. You're like, dude, that I know it's prototype. You're like, that's freaking cool.
Really?
Yeah. It's
sign me up.
It's cool.
Sign me up for all of it.
And then they're probably riding the bike in public right now, and it's incognito, but like they do their homework. It's not just shooting from the hip, so it's pretty neat.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Brunt Workwear, and I have got the brand new Marin boot here to show you guys right now. Over the last couple of years, I just wanted to get rid of doing the sneaker thing. They're not waterproof. They got super dirty, and I would end up with track shoes. I wanted to be able to rock some boots. I just made a lot more sense to wear boots. So I've switched to wearing boots, and now I've switched to wearing these Brunt boots. There's a super short break-in period, and they're lightweight, they're waterproof, they're slip and oil resistant, they're heat resistant, and they're electrical hazard rated. A lot of you guys that listen to this podcast, you're on job sites, you run a machinery, and you actually really need and test all of these features every single day. So now you can finally have durable work boots that are as comfortable out of the box as your sneakers, and over 500,000 customers agree. Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot, they've reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. For a limited time only, our listeners get $10 off a Brunt by using the code GYPSYGANG at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use the code GYPSYGANG and you are all set. And even better, Brunt will let you try this work boot risk-free on the job site. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. So please support our show by telling them that the Gypsy Gang sent you.
Which year was it? It was 24, right? 24, yeah. I remember because the dude it had rained during the day. This was the first year I think
this is it.
Dirtworks took over doing the tracks. Yep, I remember this.
Yeah, look at that thing, dude.
Because I feel like, so 24 would have been, I think Chase was on the team. And I think he was behind these guys, and we were telling Chase, hey, just keep going because of when you see smoke, you're like, okay, it's going to blow up. And it never blew up.
That's what I'm saying, eh? Like, it's just that cooked. Yep. Like, he's just cooking a 450.
And I think from what I've heard, I didn't hear this from Eli or his parents, but like from around the pits, he was hard on the clutch. But I think he was hard on the clutch because then I think a Yamaha is pretty fast, but I think for him to get up to where it needed to go, he had to clutch it real hard, where I think he's not, I think people think I'm crazy when he says he's not hard on the clutch, but I think our power's there, so he doesn't have to get it up to there. So it's
such a different motor. So I did the swap shootout a couple years ago.
Yep.
And I rode all of the bikes in the same day, which I've never actually done
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. It was super cool. And that was the biggest takeaway for the KTM motor is because I mostly ride a Yamaha 450.
Yep.
So that's kind of like my daily driver, bike-wise. And I'm in second gear pretty much in every corner. And then I'll shift to third. And it's got so much power. And it's such a fun and exciting bike.
Yep.
But the KTM, I was in third gear in every turn. And it's not like it was more power and then that's why you'd be there. Mm-hmm. But it's like the bike just didn't like second gear in the same way. It didn't like revving in the same way. The chassis felt different. Everything felt different when you rode it like a Yamaha. So then you ride it like a KTM, third gear, like not that much clutch. Just everything's just super torquey. But it's like the inverse of the Yamaha, because the Yamaha, you can just rev the piss out of those bikes and the chassis doesn't change.
Yep.
It just doesn't get wound up. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel like it affects the chassis. The KTM, for me, is the exact opposite. As soon as you start revving the thing like hard, at least in the stock bike, it just makes the chassis feel tighter and more
the rear down and
more reactive, and it's just a different experience.
Yep.
So I could see Eli going to it and having to use less clutch, having to be less in the revs.
Yep.
And I could just see how that would actually be the case.
Yeah. No, and like I said, when our first initial test with him, you're kind of like, okay, he likes a lot of power, and we have a lot of power, so, but we gave him like, all right, we're gonna give him freaking everything. He's probably like, this is stupid. Like,
really?
And then he ended up liking it, and you're like, okay. And then we said, hey, well, let's try our base setup that most of our guys rode this year, and he's like, it's good. It's just, I need more. And like, we've already done some outdoor stuff, and we gave him even more, and he's just like, dude, like grinning like ear to ear. So it's, like I said, I think I watched your podcast and with him a couple clips, and he was like, I like power, like, and he's not lying, and he uses it like it's not too much for him, so it's pretty neat.
Do you guys get to dive into the data after races and be like, this dude's a fucking psycho?
Yeah, so like when we have dad on the bike, and it's not like overkill like MotoGP and stuff, but we can read everything, suspension and stuff, and we looked at throttle position when he first rode the bike, and I think it was outdoors, and dude, his throttle, like, you're just like, what? Like, how? Like, and you like, dude, I'm not kidding. Like, his power, we used to have a flat track team at KTM a couple years ago, like in-house.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much sure our engine's blowing that away. I mean, granted, it's different track and stuff. Like those guys are just, but on the dyno, like, yeah, it's the fastest thing. We kind of joke around, like we tell them, like, hey, dude, your bike's faster than the flat track team that we had, and that was us trying to get the most out of it. So I mean, technologies came a little bit over the last couple of years, but he's an animal, dude. It's freaking wild.
The most iconic thing. It's so funny too when he's doing the pod, and he says the 450 is too slow.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like trying to enjoy the moment, but in my head, which it kind of never happens, I'm like, as soon as he's saying, I'm like, this is going to be the most viral fucking thing that
And
has
it's
ever
true.
been said on this podcast.
Like if I hadn't worked with him, I'd be like, okay, come on, like
Yeah.
I believe you, but like, dude, it's the guy ain't lying. And like to me, a stock KTM's
ripping.
if anything, half the guys we detune it because it's too much for him, and this guy's like on the other end of the spectrum, and you like watch him ride, and you're like, no, he knows what he's doing. It's the dude's an animal. Like you go watch. I know people see clips and stuff, but I wish he get some clips of him on his outdoor track on a KTM. You're just like, what the hell? Like, I think he's very lap time oriented, and I think we've already blown out his personal lap time by like a second and a half already on his track at home, and he knows that like the back of his hand. So so he was already grinning. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's just a dream working for the dude because you're just like, what the heck? Like, pinch me, wake me up.
Yeah. I'm glad that that's the experience.
It is like I said, getting into it, I'm like, okay, he's very serious, but like, it's just they're very nice people. Like they want to win. Like, and if you don't win, like, okay, but like we're all pissed. Like not pissed at him, but you're like, you want to win. Like when you get a taste of winning, and you get third, or you're like, this sucks. Like Frank Latham, Marvin's old mechanic.
Yeah.
He would tell me like towards the end of when he was like done, being a mechanic, he would be like, he gets second place and like, dude, this freaking sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like I was getting 15s and stuff with my riders because I had worked my way up and just getting top 10. I'm like, yeah. And now I look back and you're like, even like say Eli qualifies first, you're on the podium or win. You're like, you got to sit back like, hey, at one point I was 15th, 16th working for a privateer and I dreamed to be that. And now I'm in that position and you take it for granted, when you're in it, but like, you just got to sit back like, hey, this is cool, man. Like to be in that spot. So.
Yeah, and I mean, just rocking up every day at work and seeing the number 3.
Yeah, walking up and
just iconic.
It's freaking cool. Like when we first got the stickers, when we started testing, we didn't have stickers because you want to be, getting out or whatever. But we got the stickers. I was joking like, this is at least a second right here, and he's laughing. It's dude, you can't put words to describe how cool it's been this year. So.
Yeah, I mean, dude, rewind to Canada, and so I'm in Australia. And then I wake up in the morning and then I go and look at the press. I was so just fizzing to see because what an unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude's been on Japanese motorcycles his entire life.
Yeah. I think the last steel frame he was on a
RM
85, and that was years ago. So it's like, that's why people get scared, like, oh, the steel frame this, but there's a lot of cool things a steel chassis can do. And if you go back and talk to like the Japanese and what they know now, I think a lot of them would prefer to make a steel chassis, but I think it costs a lot too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was for production. Cause I remember, I'm like I said, I'm just speculating from what I heard. I thought the Triumph was supposed to be a steel frame and it's aluminum, but I think a lot of it
was cost.
Was because of cost. Outside looking at them, they might be like, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'd heard. So I don't know how true that is, but
it makes sense.
It's like steel nowadays is expensive. So I think a lot of it is because of cost, and aluminum's cheaper to make and stuff. So.
Man, the previous version of the KTM, the like 19 to 23, I think.
What did we get? So no, 8. What did we get? 18. Tickle was the first. Tickle and Marv. It was that year. Was a new. It was like small refinements, but the big change came in 15. So the one Ryan rode that, and Marv that like, dude, there was weekends like KTM was going. I mean, we had Husky, BTO team. Dude, we're going first through fifth. You're like, what the hell? And like I said, I think our bike is gotten better over the years, but everybody caught up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go look at a Yamaha, Kawasaki, the plastic's starting to like kind of look like like everybody does it. They're going to copy one each other because they know what works and they kind of drift through the BS. But that you like look at our bike from 15 and 16, like you're starting to see like that's how the Japanese, everybody's just kind of following each other. So I just think everybody caught up, like I don't think we got worse or bad. It's just everybody caught up.
There was something though in that generation before, at least for me, that just made that bike so easy to ride.
Yeah.
I mean, that frame, like you can feel just, it was so much softer and it was so compliant. And for a guy like me, I mean, so I think I had like a 20, a 21. I've got a 23 gas 450 still just sitting in a shed in Dubai.
That's sick.
Dude, that frame is unreal. Like I mean, the motor definitely got better.
Yeah.
Like everything else improved. But yeah, that frame, whatever was in that, like that bike was just so good to ride.
Yeah. No, I said it sucks. Like I don't get to ride anymore. Like I'm more scared of like getting hurt. Like if I get hurt, it is what it is. But like then I can't work, so I'm like, I guess.
I feel you on that.
But I wish I could like you ride them and feel the difference. But like I just live through the riders now, so you just kind of. But yeah, it's like I said, it's tough and like, you know, the manufacturers, it's you do all that work and then you put it out there for the customer, and it's tough nowadays. Like, and you got the shootouts now, and dude, shootouts can be brutal, and a lot of people listen to the shootouts too, and like, yeah, it's.
Well, I think that, I mean, a lot of those guys, they kind of get it right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's pretty. We do have a pretty cool thing in the industry, where like, dude, it's funny. I'll ride a bike. So I rode the new Yamaha, the 26. They changed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
and I've put like a ton of time on the old one, and so then I rode the new one, and I'm like, oh, it feels like this, and it feels like this, and I literally text Kiefer. I'm like, am I fucking drunk? Like,
no,
is this how?
At the press conference in Anaheim, I think Coop, he probably got in trouble by the manufacturer because you don't want that shit getting out. But I think he's on like a bit of a hybrid last year and this year, so it's like, yeah, it's and that's what's hard is you got guys. You know, I feel like back in the day, a lot of guys would move around, but now you got guys they're staying with the brand for so long, so they're part of those changes. So it's they get used to something, and you just kind of ride the wave, and then you like something new comes out, you got to adapt, and sometimes they don't want to adapt because they like and at this level, they're expected to win. So like to go through, put all that homework in to make that new bike good, it's tough. So like. I get it nowadays. It's just a roller coaster.
Yeah, but I think that the shootout guys, like they've got some pretty solid feedback, and it's cool that the industry is in a place where those guys actually can say what they think and actually give the feedback. And I know that it gets back to the R&D teams too. Like it's a very tight little community of that whole like test world magazine, or like not really magazine, more like. I guess.
Well, I think a lot of those guys get hired by it. They might not be full-time R&D, but they get hired to come in and they ride each. Like I think Kiefer develops the Triumph, and so these guys are getting like Stapleton. I think he was part of KTM. I don't know what he's doing now, but he was with Honda. So like those guys telling you this stuff, they somehow are involved with most R&D projects. You know, whoever's paying them probably, but I know we hire some of the guys. I don't know how it is now, but the last few years, those people doing the shootouts, they're part of the R&D process because they do have so much time on production bikes. So, and like you can bring in a guy and he might be like, oh, this thing's fast, but like, okay, what do you like? And I think those guys being around, they can decipher stuff and help guys get the R&D get from point A to point B. So yeah.
We were talking before about Dunge deciding to go to KTM, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're crazy!" Like you were about to kind of get into that,
Yep. So when he came, like I said, I was on the younger side. I was just the test mechanic, just young kid learning.
Is he older or younger? Like, where are you in the family?
I'm 38. Ryan's 36, and we got a little brother who's
Blake.
Blake's 30. I think he's 31. He's probably yelling at me. I forgot his age right now.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's 31.
Yeah. I thought you were the oldest.
I'm the oldest. Yep. So, so when Ryan came over, I had just gotten from off-road to the pro teams, and then because it was more Ryan came, and then I wanted to be on the factory, pro team side. So they kind of brought me in, and Carlos and Frankie, mechanics at the time, they kind of took me under their wing, and that's who I learned a lot of my little stuff from. They kind of helped guide me in my career. But when he came over, Japanese, you would call, at least from my experience being on Honda, you could call them and it might be 3-4 month turnaround, but like, dude, KTM, they were throwing money at it. Dude, we had I think he test rode the 350 and 450, and the 450 didn't exist. It was like they just made it up. And then
they just made it.
They just made it with linkage and everything. They made it. And then Ryan's like, no, I'm going to stick with the 450. Not that the 350 was bad. He just wanted the torque. He's a 450 guy.
It'd be so in his head. Could you imagine if he was on a 350 and everyone else was on 450s,
Yeah.
bro? He could never let go.
No, and I think it's like our 350 was good, but I think just it's a mental thing
100%.
too. And so anyhow, dude, when they came out with the bike, there was like handful made, like it was just prototype stuff. And he went race Monster Cup on. Those were the two bikes in the world that only existed. So you kind of like, all right, let's put in a race situation. But like, so if we wanted to make changes, Raj would call Austria, and I'm telling you, it was like a week, and then they're having parts made. And that's, I feel like, and with the guiding of success of Raji and Ryan and Carlos and everybody, that was the big part. But like a lot of it was Austria's throwing stuff at it, and like the turnaround, that was huge. And I think now you see that like Japanese, like, okay, we need to do the same thing. And I think you've seen it with Honda, from what I've gathered with Jett and stuff. They'll be like, they'll send something within a couple weeks, and I think that's a big part of to get better.
Yeah, and I think that happened on the production side.
Yep.
So KTM, at least for me, I grew up, I was always a Honda kid.
Yep.
So I rode Hondas my entire life. Now, I don't even think I had like a Yamaha TTR 125. That was it. But I had Hondas, and then I tried Kawasaki for a year. That was an epic fail. Rode it like 4 times.
I rode a bunch
broke 2 bones.
125, and I was like, I suck. I'm like, how does James Stewart do this?
Dude, I've literally had this bike, broke a collarbone, then broke a wrist the 2 times I rode it, just because the bike fucked up both times.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
I'm good
On this bike. But so I would look at other guys with KTMs because I was going through that from 04, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,
Yep.
12. I was on Hondas, and then you would see the KTMs, like the hydraulic clutch, the electric start,
Yep.
the Brembo brakes. You could kind of see what KTM was
the trend,
was doing. And Honda was like, everyone used the same brakes, basically similar suspension.
Yep.
It was all the components. It's like those 4 manufacturers just like got their parts from
that vendor, and that's what we're running.
And they put it together. And KTM was like the first company to, and I guess none of them are taking massive risks or massive leaps. So then the other one didn't have to.
Yeah.
So it was a very steady kind of.
I think they were like, I don't know what it is now, but like most companies now, it's like 3-4 years. There's a new chassis and everything, but they were like 5 years, and they're like, nobody was touching it. And then all of a sudden you got KTM, boom. And then it started off all right. And the next thing you know, we won, and then it just kept going better. And then 2 years in, you're like, dude, we were so far. The frame, everything. Ryan, like I said, Ryan was tinkering with stuff. And then he got to that 15 chassis, and dude, you put whoever on that bike, it was good. Like Hill was on it. I know Hill got hurt, hit his head and stuff before the season started, but dude, he was unbelievable.
How good did he look on that bike then?
Dude, he was unreal. Like he went to Monster Cup, and it was still the old chassis, and we are like, dude, do we move this guy to the 450? Like he's ripping. And he was like, they put him in B practice at Monster Cup that 1 year. We had just signed him, and he rode the 450, and they put him in the B practice. And Carl's like, dude, we went to the AMA like, hey, this guy's making Ryan spin out. Like he did a quad that the track had been the same all year, and he comes in September and jumps a quad, and you're like, how is that even? So we went to that, and then, but then they all got on the 15 chassis. The pro, pre-pro is basically the new bike. Every single one guy like dropped their time. Nobody screwed with suspension. Like the window was like unbelievable. And like I said, Ryan, that's when Ryan, I feel like really those 3 years in a row or 3-4 years was like, dude, he was solid, and he didn't mess with the bike. And I think going to Eldon's helped him a little bit, because Eldon basically like, not only on the training part, like, but Ryan was a thinker.
Mentally,
he just wanted to like, he would make one little clicker kind of like spiral the whole night and focus on it. Where Eldon's like, shut up, like this is what you dealt with. And I think that helped him in his career on the mental side of things. But like I said, that chassis, dude, you'd go from race to race, and it was just like unreal,
crazy.
But I think then all the Japanese started scrambling, and now you're like, dude, I think all the bikes are.
Oh man, and yeah, and that's the kind of point I was making is like KTM just made these guys step up, and now like, dude, I mean the Yamaha 250 is like unbelievable. The Yamaha 450 unbelievable.
Yeah.
New Honda, so insanely good. It's like the level just bang bang, the electronics, the hydraulics, like.
And I think they all go and buy each other's bikes too, and then they'll ride them, and then they'll like, oh, what looks good. So it's kind of funny how it's back behind the scenes, like people, what's all going on. So
yeah, and I think that we have KTM to thank for that.
No, for sure. Like they really elevated the level, and you're like, it's cool. But then you're like nowadays you're like, oh, now everybody's kind of do it. It's tough. You got to really every team you're working for it. There's not one team out there saying, oh, we're just guys just coasting through. Like it's work, man. It's tough because it's just little bits here and there is what's it's like F1, like
Yeah.
So I mean, not right now F1 because that's like
F1 sucks right now.
yeah, that's hard to watch. But like last year, like everybody's just peanuts,
Yeah.
right?
So. How much of that's going on? Like, how much are you guys behind the scenes? I mean, I'm sure Honda's start maps probably had you guys scratching your heads for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you're watching, you're like, but we learned too, like it's yeah, it's start map, but there's a lot of like other stuff that there's clutch stuff, there's a lot of stuff. It's not as simple, and I think this year like our starts have been better. We learned a little bit, and also Eli, he knew exactly what he wanted, so we made a map. There's stuff we made for him, but it's just the bikes are so. Yeah, like people think, oh, it's just a dirt bike. I push a button. There's a lot you can do. Like it's pretty wild. So it's not quite MotoGP stuff, but there's a lot of cool stuff that the teams can do nowadays.
I was talking to a guy at MotoGP actually.
Yeah,
he came up to me, and I can't say too much about the conversation, but he was at a team, and he was like, dude, he's a full engineer.
Yep.
Like MotoGP engineering. Like he works with a bunch of different teams all over the world. And he was like, man, I was fucking impressed. He's like, either they know a lot about engineering and like really have got this figured out, or they have blown up so many motors on a dyno.
No,
because he's like, dude, the stuff that they had like figured out for what they technically were working with, he's like, man, I am so impressed with like the general motor knowledge of these guys.
No, it's not. You got to be careful too, because like these guys RPMs, like even on a dirt bike, I couldn't imagine street bike, but like, dude, they're up there, and every now and then, hey, you guys are getting too high, you got to bring it down. And the hard part is the R450 is just unicam, so it's very torquey. You don't have to worry about the over rev and stuff. But the hard part is like a lot of the bikes are dual cams, and dude, they're like road race engines. Well, these riders like to hold it wide open and then downshift, and that's when the stuff spikes. So you got to be careful there. But like, we have our perimeters. Like most teams have your perimeters. Like we know what's on the safe side, so we know not to dick around there. But like privateer guys, there's no limits. So I can see how they could go and not know where you could, they'll blow up some stuff. But yeah, it's crazy, all the computers nowadays. Yeah. But even like F1, I remember. So I think Raj went to F1, and I said, hey, Raj, how was it? And he's like, do the riders come off the track and kind of complain about their bike? You're like, yeah, they're just like motocross, and maybe even worse sometimes.
Worse.
But I said, well, what do they do for changes? And they're like, well, they're setting up for each corner. And I'm like, really? Like, because they have that ability to do that. And you're just like, what? Like, that's just, yeah, I'm good. Man, I couldn't handle that.
I've been in the garage a couple of times and like listening to sessions.
Yep.
So like all I can hear is driver, engineer, and dude, the engineer is driving the car.
Yeah.
For some of the practice sessions, like I need you to go through this turn at this speed,
mm-hmm.
and then I guess they're capturing the data of like exactly where the GPS is, and then the GPS is here, and then it's like the amount of throttle, the amount of engine brake, the amount of everything.
And they probably got sensors to see the flex of the chassis. Like it's just like. It's funny, you take those MotoGP, you see pictures every now and then, you're like, and you see the bike complain like, oh, that thing's pretty, and then they take off the fairings, and you're like, holy, what? Like, that looks like a rat's nest, but it's just all the sensors. Yeah. Like, I'm like, dude, that mechanic's gnarly to be zip tying all that stuff. Like, it kind of gives you a headache looking at it, but that's how it is. It's all data driven.
But that's one of the best things about Supercross.
Yeah.
Is as far as you guys take it, and as good as you guys have got these bikes and are getting them better and better and better, Ken Roxon
it's still Ryder.
is out there on a 10-year-old motorcycle crushing.
Yeah, we always joke, like me and Frankie, like, oh, we just got our asses handed to us by a 15-year-old dirt bike. But but at the end of the day, like you said, you can make these bikes as good as you can, but a lot of it's the rider. Like if they're comfy, they're, like I said, like that track where were we this weekend? St. Louis, dude, it was nasty. Like if some like even Cooper Webb, like he went jumping some stuff. Like it was just sketchy. And if you got nothing to lose, you're gonna go for it. But if you got your limits, and you could land on your head. So it's like I said, as far as we push the bikes, it's still rider rider, the rider can do a lot. Where I think other sports, electronics and stuff, is kind of making up for that with the rider, but ours is still the rider needs to do the work. So, which is kind of cool for the fans.
100%.
So
what was some of the bikes where you guys have looked at it and just been like, what are they doing? Surely a Star 250.
Yeah, well, everybody knows that bike's so fast. Like, just out of the box, it's fast, and I think that's what a lot of it they have going for them. And I mean, they have so many riders. It's like one guy gets hurt. All right, bring this guy next. I mean, and you can't discredit Deegan. That like he talks shit, and we always mess with him and stuff like outside, like because our semi driver used to drive for him. His name's Corey.
Yeah.
So we always mess with him. Like this weekend, Deegan won the championship. We're like, oh, you better go down there and wear your t-shirt. Like just give him shit. So what I'm gonna do is like he talks him on the phone, so we always talk shit to him and stuff. But he like I said, he can back it up. And like I said, I know that bike's good, but like he's a good kid's impressive. So like you can't take that away from him. But then you got Davies, and it's just I think out of the box, it's got a lot of power. In the 250 class, everybody's trying to get power up there, and we're up there, but it took us a lot of factory parts to get to that point where they're just out of the box. That thing's like probably do a couple of things like, all right, we're good. So it's starting with the base package. I think that bike's pretty solid, but and talent too. They have a lot of good talent, and that's
goes a massive
it
goes a long way.
Yeah.
So what about other, like, is there any 450s where you've like seen teams do stuff? And
I think the biggest thing now is, like you said, this just kind of out. I don't know if my team feels this way. This is me personally. Like the last couple of summers, you watch Jett and Hunter on their starts, and you're like, okay, that's like you just said earlier, that start map. Like, what the hell are they doing? Like, okay, me personally, like, okay, that's cool. We got to figure something out like that. But like, I've worked on the factory Honda, so like I got to see all the cool factory parts, and like it's a cool bike, but it's
so simple.
It's still a dirt bike, and same with ours. We got a lot of cool shit, but like people are like, dude, that thing's so sick. Like it's still a dirt bike. Like there's a lot of stock stuff we use just because it's a factory. Like there's majority of the stuff is somewhat stock based. So it's I'd say our bike and Honda, they got some wild, like there's some stuff under our bike that the public can't see, and it's like that's freaking sick. Like the subframe, and like there's some cool shit. And like the biggest thing nowadays is a lot of people don't know is the 3D printing. There's a lot of 3D printed metal parts like titanium and stuff. Yeah. And people they'll be like, that's a stock part. I'm like, no, but that's titanium. Like it looks stock, but that's the cool part is the 3D stuff. I think I get a kick out of that nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think we're like one of the only teams as far as the metals, like titanium side is doing that. I think a lot of the teams is just billet stuff machine, but like I think that's where our cool parts come from the 3D stuff.
Yeah. Stark they've got like a big titanium 3D printer.
Oh, I'd see.
I
wish I could see all the. I probably could see it. I just haven't looked at it. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, they sent some foot pegs to me. And they're just like 3D printed titanium foot pegs. And it's like, no shit. But yeah, that's what Anton was saying. Like when he did the pod, he's like, dude, I just want to make a 3D printed titanium Stark. Put the battery in it, but like the entire bike. He's like, it would be so unrealistically expensive for someone in the general public. But he's like, you could just print pretty much the entire bike.
So like, I was fortunate enough to work on the factory Honda side of things, and I always thought the factory Honda foot pegs were like, dude, that is sick. And you would get them, and they're like, dude, if they're brand new, you could rip your leg open. So then we got our couple, was it 3 years ago, when we got this new model, a KTM back in 21. They printed the foot pegs, and like, dude, these things, they don't look that sharp, but they're as sharp as the Hondas, but they stay sharp because they're printed where the billet ones would kind of wear out over time and they would go dull. Dude, I think, was it last year, Barsha was hanging out in the shop, dropped his, was messing around in the stand, and then his leg dropped. I think he had to get staples. They just ripped him open. Like they're gnarly. Like on build day, I have to put, like, because I work in the semi in the back, and I only got maybe it's this wide, so I'm always walking past the bike. So I put little tennis balls over it, because otherwise, dude, I wear shorts in the summer. I'm gonna rip myself open, and it's gnarly.
So you guys have that in the factory?
No, yeah. So I don't know if it's outsourced at the factory. I know we got 3D printers in Austria, but I think the titanium stuff's outsourced in Austria. But the stuff they can do is just like, it's cool.
Dude.
I wish I could do videos to show like the public, because the team would probably get pissed. Like, don't show us this stuff, but it's freaking cool.
Were you stressing the other day when the airbox cover came off and like people are taking photos?
No, I mean, people. I think the Hopper dude and all those guys were freaking up. Like, dude, if you don't there's if you take a stock KTM, there's already velocity stacks inside your air boot already, and other teams like you can go to Twisted Development, they're already doing that, so it's nothing new. It's just we wouldn't like that information out there, but when it's out there, it's like it's not the end of the world. But when he actually, it's funny you say it. When Eli came in, I don't think anybody kind of saw it like from the stands on our team because it's by his leg. And when he came in, I had the T handle. I'm like, oh, maybe the mud flap sucked up. And then when he came, I'm like, oh fuck, and I dropped it. And I was lucky to get that filter, and he probably could have kept going and finished the race, but like, yeah. I was just like, I haven't seen that one. Let's add that to the list. Yeah.
So that was a new
that was new for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the stress and the pressure.
When you're in the moment, you're just like, you deal with it. But like, I've learned, me and AP's mechanic Jay, like we'll get done, and he's older than me and I'm getting older, but we'll get done after the race and say we get to the hotel at 11. Dude, I'm not going to bed till 2 a.m. because I think my heart I'm still coming down from the race.
You got PTSD.
Dude, I need to wear a heart rate to see what I'm doing because it can't be healthy for you, like having that much stress. But like when you're in it, it's good. But at the end of the day, when you're like still zooming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
The pressure of having Eli Tomac ride your motorcycle.
Yep.
And that it needs to be good.
Mm-hmm. Well, even especially like I always make sure I do my job, but like there's an added, like, I got to be on top of my shit because when this guy goes first lap, it's not just roll around and get used to it. It's freaking, he goes for it, which is awesome because, like, in practice, it helps us get more data and stuff because a lot of the guys, we get 2 practices, they'll go out, do a half a lap, roll around for 2, do a fast lap, and like, okay, I'm done. Where Eli, it's like lap after lap, so you have a lot of data, but like I said, you have to be on your shit. Like, you can't have no mistakes. Everything's got to be proper because it's go time. So, yeah,
that's so cool, dude.
It's like I said, it's like now it's normal. But like if you gave me Eli maybe 6-7 years ago, I'd be like, oh, like this is a lot. But I think all my riders kind of led me to that point to be ready. For this. So yeah, it's nice.
I have this in my dream scenario on a Saturday for Supercross. There's only a practice for both classes, and the first is a 35-minute free practice.
Yeah.
Where the track gets beat up. It starts perfect. It gets beat up.
Yep.
And the guys can just, like you said, data.
Yeah.
Like you guys can get smooth quality data. You can get main event data. You can you can try different shocks. You've got time to do stuff.
And
how would that feel for you?
I think it would be, it's kind of we kind of a little bit do that for SMX because you get 2 extra practices and it can be good. But if you're not there, it starts the rabbit hole. It's 2 extra practices. You're going, and then it can spiral. So it's a good and a bad, but it would be nice because then you're like right now you got 10-minute practice. Okay, let's we think this might, let's try this. And if it doesn't, all right, it's go time ready. So I think that would be cool, like how they do the GPs. But SMX is kind of like to your saying, it's only 2 extra practices, but it's 2 more than you have the day before. So that it is kind of nice, but like I said, it can spiral quick if you give them that more time to screw with the bike too.
It can go the other way.
Yeah.
But I just think it'd be cool as a fan to like see what you guys would do.
Yeah. We could do a lot. Like it don't take that long to change a shock or a fork. I mean, you saw Eli. I wasn't there. I watched it on TV, but you saw Eli and their mechanics on Yamaha. They were changing stuff in the pits. They had 2 bikes. So I think that helped them at the end of the day get into that point A to point B. But, like I said, it could be good, but it could go out on a rabbit hole. But
yeah,
it also too, like I was talking to my brother the other day, and we put so much emphasis on qualifying, and to get P1 is awesome. It's like, and it's good for gate pick, but like there should be like I kind of like how the GPs they're getting like extra points. Like it could make the champion. If you're not a good qualifier, then you're screwed. But like these guys they're going full bore, but there's nothing. Maybe in their contract they might have a little bonus incentive for getting first, but like. There should be an incentive for risking your life to go to the points or something. There should be.
Oh, I totally agree.
Because I just think, or not put something like the GPs, like, I don't know if it's off, it's off qualifying time, but like, they're just kind of out riding. But like, a lot of the guys get hurt in practice because it's go time, but they're risking it for the biscuit. Even on the start, we do those starts.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's good to see you're at, but like, dude, it can go, your night can be done. And then it's like, okay, I just risked my life I didn't get points. I didn't get paid anything. And so it's a double-edged sword.
No, I'm really into the idea of that. I would love I would love, and again, this is all just in my fantasy land that
yeah.
I live in, where there's no C practice and no B practice.
Yeah.
But you've got this full practice. You do 35 minutes, practice one, and then they clean up the track, and then the 250 guys go, or whatever order. And then there's like a break in that whole thing. They clean up the track again.
Yep.
And then there's the quali session is like a 40-minute session. But then it's like, okay, you start out with 20 guys. After 10 minutes, the bottom 5 drop out. After 20 minutes, the next 5 drop out. Then the next 5. And the last 5 minutes or whatever, just 5 dudes on the track throwing down. And then that matters for points.
I think it would be good because like I think it kind of messes up a little bit our main point system, but it like look at the GPs, like you win that Saturday qualifier, Conan brother,
yeah,
one of the Conan brothers, the older one, or they're the same age, but the number 5, Lucas, he had a shit first moto the last race, won the second one, but he still got the points lead. So it's kind of cool. They're risking it on that practice race, but it's benefiting them in the long run. So I feel like they can implement that a little bit in our series. So
I just want to see the top guys more.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest thing is that there's so much of the program on a Saturday that I'm not interested in.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like, besides the racing night show, my favorite part is opening ceremonies. And I still geek out. Like, I think this weekend I just sat back and I love watching them go around throwing whips and just doing cool shit. It's just the top 10 guys, 10 best guys in the Supercross. And that's like my highlight of the weekend.
Well, that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
We're there to watch the best dudes.
Yep.
Like, I'm just not that interested in watching the 80th best Supercross rider in the world. Like, guys are badass.
Yeah.
Guys are badass. Someone's probably keen to watch him, but just...
And it drags the whole day, like this whole day out. You're just sitting there like, all right, let's just...
Yeah, you guys just don't do anything. Or like in terms of the top guys are on the track for ever 8-hour day. They're on the track for like not even an hour.
And that's why we were pumped. Like, it sounds stupid, that free practice. It was sick, but you're like, it doesn't count for it. Let's just get rid of it. Like, they're already ready to go. Like, they ain't screwing around. Like, that first practice, even though it wasn't timed, we're already like, okay, you're P1. Like, you need to do this better. But it's like, it's not even going towards. So that's why everybody pushed, hey, just get rid of this stupid session. Like, the top guys are ready to go. They can jump the triple. They know the first lap. Yeah. Like, it's in their brain, like it's not rocket science for them. So
what did you think about the Australian Supercross? The World Supercross.
I liked it. I think it was cool. I think
the format and everything.
I wish there was a little more time. I know they have a program to hereby, but like it was very short in between. So like if you did, I got screwed because I was a wild card, so we brought a second bike, but we didn't know you couldn't use it, so I couldn't use my second bike. But if you're a regular, you have 2 bikes you can use.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We were new to the series, so we just like, we're bringing 2 bikes. But then we got there, went to go tech both bikes. Hey, you're a wild card. You can't have 2 bikes. You're like, okay, I wish I'd known that. Then I would have had to build another bike.
That's insane.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is like their stuff's shorter than our Triple Crowns here. So like our Triple Crowns, it's long compared to them. But dude, it was like you basically go back, maybe check the clutch, fill with gas, and you're going to the next one. But I liked how practice was. Practice was sick, and then I liked that what do they call it? Dash for cash or
the Super Pole.
The Super Pole. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like I said, you have really good dudes there. I think it would be even more pressure if you had everybody there, but I enjoyed it. It was a good time. And we got to shake down the bikes. The tracks were like legit. Yeah. And
how much different was the tracks for racing? I mean, Canada was gnarly, but it's basically sand.
Yeah.
But like crazy was the racing in the Gold Coast because it was a fucking highway.
Yeah. Yeah. That, like I said, we got, like everybody freaked out about Eli. I think we got the paddle. Like we kind of learned a little.
You got it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't for lack of trying, but like it was cool. Like, dude, it was so tight, short. It was just good, right? The fans got into it. Like, I was into it. And like, honestly, my wife would get mad at me because, traveling sucks. But like, it was cool how they gave us crates. All the shit fit inside that crate, and you just would go to the next venue, and it was sick. Like, I enjoyed it. It wasn't a pain in the ass whatsoever for on the team aspect.
Yeah.
So.
But you're right. Like, the racing was just unreal.
Yeah. Like even the track was gnarly in Toronto, but it was sick watching them race.
So let's go back. So you get the news, you're stoked. I'm going to be Eli Tomac's mechanic.
Yep.
when was the first time you watched him ride the KTM? Or when was the first time he rode it? Were you there the first day he rode it?
First time I wasn't there. It was like,
What did you hear?
all they said was like, dude, he freaking loved it. Like, and I was like, well, I figured he knew. Like, we had a good platform, and our rider at the time, they were doing good. So I knew like we had a good platform, but it's like, it's Eli Tomac. You know, we know he likes lots of power. So you know you have a lot of power, but you just don't, you know, like until he rides it, you don't really, you know. And he was impressed. So that was pretty cool. And it's funny, I built the bike and I didn't go to it, so you're just like, hey, did everything go good? You know, like, you know it go good, but like you're like, hey, is everything good? And they're like, no, everything was sweet. So
And so you couldn't go because you were still working with Chase, essentially?
yeah, pretty much. And I didn't want to, I'm not gonna be in, you know,
That would have created a problem.
yeah, and I just
Like, hey man, I'm gonna go watch Eli ride.
yeah, and I don't this is my job right now. I want to do it right and make sure I'm not crossing it, because I would expect the same.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think that's the
But it's
move.
kind of funny now with everything being electric. You knew, you know, side topic, you knew when other guys rode different bikes because we had to kill, you know, the start button when they'd go to grab the shifter or the Kickstarter. That's how you kind of would like know, oh, you went and did a different bike. It's kind of funny, like, but now everything's freaking electric start. So
That's
side topic.
Yeah, no, that is funny. So when was the first time you saw him ride?
Officially was when he signed the contract, and he dude, it was so cool. Dude, he got on the bike and it was just freaking like.
So where was it? Where'd you watch him?
We went to his house. We got to go to his house.
No way.
Yeah, it was cool. Dude, we've been up to his house a handful. Like once he signed, we were up there a handful of times, and we, you know, for us we would drive because it's 8 hour, I think 8-9 hour drive. No, it's 10 hour. We have our sprinters and we just leave early in the morning.
Mellow.
Leave early in the morning, be there at in the afternoon, and we just brought the vans right to his house, pull up to his mom and dad's property, unload, and when he says he's at 8:30, dude, he's 8:30, shows up in his car. All right, business, let's go. And it's awesome.
That would have been the sickest. Yeah. Watching him rip. Like, so you remember 2015 Eli Tomac?
Yep.
Right.
Was he? Oh, Honda.
Geico.
Yep. Yeah, but he was on the factory 450, right?
Yeah. So your poor little brother got beat by like a minute 30 at Hangtown. And so then you get the chance to go to his place and you're like, I could see why 2015, I could see it.
I remember, so I was 15. Frankie was with Marvin, and we were in the lights class, and I was with Hill. We had just got done with our moto, and our bikes were in impound, and I'm like, let's just go watch. And I mean, you're bummed because Ryan, you got your ass handed to you. So you're like on the team stand, you're like, this sucks. But like, dude, I was watching him. I'm like, Ricky was a bad dude. James, that ride that day, I've never seen anybody like the stuff he was doing. I'm sure he probably said, oh yeah, that was easy, but like, it was so cool to watch in person. Watch it, like you see it on TV, but in person, you're just like, dude, the first corner he was just gapping guys, and you're just like, how does a dirt bike even do this? It was just, I can't even. To this day, that's the coolest for me as a fan. That's the coolest race I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, man, I couldn't agree more. I wasn't there. I didn't get to see it.
Dude.
But I still, I mean, maybe not still. I think Jett's done some crazy shit since then. But it's different. But, man, to just walk Ryan Dungey, to just put a lead on Dunge and walk him around Hangtown is crazy.
What made it crazy, it was rough, like really rough. And the fact that what made it like, on the mechanic side, make it so eye-popping watching was he was just lifting the front, and like, dude, there'd be bumps this tall, and it looks like he's on a highway, and we're just like, like you can just tell Ryan's giving it everything, and he looks like a squid compared to Eli. And after the race, it was like, at our truck, you're just like, what the hell? Like, I felt bad for the team. Like I was on the light side of things, but you're looking at everybody like, oh shit, like this is the start of the season, and you know. It sucks, but it was just, and then back up you go to after that. What was
Glen Helen.
I remember the little hip jump.
Yeah.
Him and Ryan were battling, just watching him throw that. I'm just like, this is cool to watch. It sucks. We're getting our asses handed to it, but this is cool to watch.
Man, that year, if he doesn't go down in Colorado, that's a perfect season year.
Yeah.
There's nobody that could have beat him that year.
No, even Ryan, like any guy, James Stewart, any guy in their best day, like that was amazing what he was doing those couple races.
Well, so Zacho was in here.
I heard of. I
heard him talk about that.
Yeah,
it was just like he'd lap him in 5 laps. Dude won the 2020 450 Motocross Championship, and 5 years earlier,
Yeah.
Tomac lapped him in 5 laps.
It wasn't like on the 2-stroke. You said he was like
He was on a 2-stroke.
Yeah, dude. And like I said, you want to think like, dude, that's bike setup. I think that's just him, dude. Like you can make a good bike, but like that was more rider.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that makes it kind of crazy is like no one loved that 2015.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that was a universally
Yeah, because I think
loved
he was already
motorcycle.
going to Cowie. Like I think he was like somewhat over it. Because I'm like, dude, how could you walk away from that? But I don't know if that was just out of the blue and the stars aligned. But it was just like, wow.
Yeah, maybe it was just him just being
I don't know,
like in a peak.
Whatever they did, it'd be cool to hear what they did on the dirt bike side of things. But that was, yeah.
But even when you look back at Eli's career, I mean, he won his first moto
Yeah, at that track.
at Hangtown.
Yep.
It's like, what kind of beast are you? Like, what's wrong with you, kid?
It's just wild. Yeah, I don't even like. I always joke around like when it's all said and done, and I don't know what he's gonna do when he decides he's done. But like, I always joke around with my brother. I was like, this guy needs to like make a school of like how to act, how to carry yourself, like to the younger. Not that he has to, but like if he wants to like have some fun outside of racing and keep himself busy, like they need to teach this to the kids coming up because it's like I said, it helps the team. It just sets the tone for everything. Like it's all, the riders these days, it's getting demanding and the pressure too. And I think a lot of them kind of crack under it, but this guy, I wish he could teach other guys this because it's wild,
Yeah, I mean, and pull up to that bad boy
Sorry,
too.
Rick.
Sorry. I love that you're chilling, but
Yeah, I was solely like, oh.
I mean, I know you probably don't want to speak on this too much,
Mhm.
but there's a vibe. There's a Chase Sexton KTM vibe within the team, I'm sure. And then there's an Eli Tomac vibe. And it's like when you say that a rider's steering the ship, it's like the impact that the A rider, and you're never going to say A rider, B rider, whatever.
Yeah,
but a guy shows up and is the best on the team,
Mhm.
and he is the A rider on the team.
Yeah.
And it's like that person, the way that person carries themselves dictates the functionality and the vibe and
Yeah.
the whole morale of the team. And I feel like just watching you guys this year versus the last couple of years, it just seems different. And it's because of like the level of leadership and attitude that
Yeah.
he brings.
And at the end of the day, like I said, we're all human. We all, we get paid, we're good paying jobs and like we're expected a lot out of ourselves, but like having that it's just the calmness, cause like we're all human, people panic and stuff, but he brings a calmness and like I said, you want to make the rider happy. You don't, cause if this guy's not happy and you just say, oh, just ride the damn thing, you ain't going to get results. Like,
Yeah.
So you gotta figure out how to make it work. And then if they're not happy, you're just going to keep trying. And then like I said, it's, I don't talk bad about anything, but it was, it's tough. And like I said, moving forward and it's been a little bit easier. But like I said, last year we learned a lot. And like I said, Chase was very demanding, which is good. He expects a lot out of us and we expect a lot of him, but we did get our bike better. So like, I think moving forward, like the bike was good going into the year but Eli, he knew what he needed to make it work, and we refined that and made it, every year is just a learning stone. And like I said, it was tough last year, but we learned a lot, the last 2 years. So it's, yeah.
It was wild to me seeing Chase leave because he technically had his best Supercross season ever.
Well, like what
with
was it,
you guys.
7 wins, and that's
Yeah.
not easy. That's tough.
Yeah.
Like even if some of the guys were hurt, like to win a Supercross, it's freaking tough. And
Yeah.
then you had 7, you're just like, dude, that's sick. So
Yeah.
and
So-
we only came up 2 points, which is such a bummer. But like, it wasn't. We worked our asses off. So
Yeah, and he on paper had such a great season,
Mhm.
and then outdoors won a championship.
yeah,
So it's like if you look at his career at
it wasn't that.
KTM, it was
Yeah.
like awesome,
Yeah.
but it never seemed like there was a good feeling. I mean, I'm sure there was a ton of motos that were like great, and the outdoor bike looked awesome in the year that he won
Yep.
the championship. But yeah, it just never seemed like there was I'm stoked to be here. I'm stoked on how this is going. It just seemed like a struggle from the jump.
Yeah. And like I said, I can't speak for him. It's a bummer because he is a good dude. Like I respect him a lot. He's very talented on a motorcycle. I think social media has kind of ruined. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. Like back in the day when it was just cycle news, most fans probably wouldn't have heard stuff. You don't hear what's going on now. Like, dude, a guy crashes. Like it's on the internet 10 minutes later, and then the fans talk, and then I think the media talks, and I think I think the younger kids like to talk to the media, which is good, but sometimes it's not. It could get you in trouble. So I think that probably didn't help it. But yeah, he'll get it figured out. I think sooner than later. But like I said, like I said, we just work our asses off and just try to give 100% to each person we work for, and that's all we can do. So
it's a weird feedback loop, the social media thing, and it's probably one of the reasons. It's funny because when Eli was in here, it was like on camera he said some stuff, but then off camera he was like, "Oh, I watch everything. I see everything." So like he knows everything that I've said about Tomac this entire year. He knows exactly what gets said. Good, bad, ugly. I'm the biggest Tomac fan ever, so I'm safe on that. But I mean, he actually chooses not to engage.
Yeah.
And he chooses to it's a wall. And I mean, I think this year is one of the better years that he's been in terms of like entering the conversation.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give the media much to go off. And I think that, and then you're not in this feedback loop. I feel like Chase is very much in the feedback loop of like what goes out, what comes in, what goes out. And
I think that's just new generation.
All of them are like that.
Yeah. And like, I think when you look, you forget like, yeah, Eli's old. He's not really that old. What's it, 30, 32? Like that's pretty young, but like he was part of the beginning of social media, like still cycle, like all the just hardcover media stuff, where now it's like everything social and internet based. So it's, yeah, I just think that's just, he grew up in that area, and I don't think he knows how to kind of keep it away. But like I said, I watch what I post on social media sometimes because I'm like, I don't know my bound. I don't want to piss him off. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, quit being a jackass. But I did that last one. He kind of liked it. So I'm like, okay, I know he's looking at it.
What was the last one?
The last one I have my meta glasses.
And I think I saw this. Where was it?
It's that top one. That top left. And
top left, go up.
So I did. Oh, that one hit good. So I did like what it looks like doing with my meta glasses.
Oh, that's so funny.
But I'm like, dude, he's gonna think I'm.
There you go. He liked it.
You're like, I'm like, this guy's gonna think I'm a jackass.
Oh, that's so funny.
But it's funny once you get to know Eli, dude. He's like, he's a little bit like AP. Like he just, even with Ryan, everybody's like, Ryan's such a tight ass, like uptight and all this stuff. But like, dude, when you get to know these guys, they just know like when to, they're not gonna, they don't care about the glam and the media. They're just normal dudes. So it's when Eli's just with us, dude, it's like we go testing with him. He's laughing or BSing, like it's, yeah.
But he just takes it seriously at the races.
Yeah. Like my dad always gives me shit. He's like, why aren't you talking to Eli on the line? I'm like, Dad, I don't need to hold this guy's hand. Like he knows what he's doing. I don't need to freaking, let's go. You got this. Like he's a grown ass man. He knows what he needs to do. He's been in this situation numerous times. And like I said, people right now are talking shit how the last couple racing, but like at the end of the day, we still got to go racing, but like he got the red plate still, like, which, you want to have more points, but like he's.
Yeah. If you told him at A1 that with 4 rounds to go, he'd be tied for the red plate, he'd be like, sweet.
Yeah. Like I said, if you look at his career, he's in it. He knows what it takes. And like I said, you could have landed on your head last weekend. And if you're not comfortable, you could have, then you're out, then it's done. So like you're still in it, and there's some racing to go, and we need to turn it around. But I think these tracks will be good for him, and like I said, time will tell. But we're gonna give it our all.
So we'll go to the Canadian race.
Yep.
So you guys have a bit of inside knowledge because you've seen him race, and you're like, this dude is ripping.
Yep.
How good did the Canada thing feel? Because I remember waking up and watching it, and I'm like, that might be the best I've ever seen him ride.
Yeah, and like telling you, it was basically last year's components, suspension stuff, and dude, he was riding, everything was good, and we were like, okay, good. And we get there, we do press went sick. He was like, yeah, I'm good. Don't touch the bike.
He's doing turn-ups and shit.
Yeah, and then they had this, I think they tamed it down, but they had this, massive triple.
Yeah.
He did this, I'm like, dude, I've never even seen this guy like it looked like, like a freestyle dude. Like
Axel.
Yeah, like look at Hodges. And then, dude, all day he was serious, and he was, dude, even I think he got a bike link start.
Dude, that scared the shit out of me. I'm like, okay, when that happens, then we've got some problems, guys.
And like I said, this was kind of the base we came up with, and we've refined it since then.
Look at that. That's the best start he's ever got in his car. I actually think the next one was even bigger. Sorry.
Yeah, I think, one of them, it was like a whole bike length. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm like, that's the best start he's ever got.
And I think we honestly, I think we had to detune a little bit, because if you watch closely, he was overshooting a lot of stuff. So we kind of just mellowed it out just a little bit. But dude, it was sick watching him. Yeah,
this is night one of his career on the KTM. And I remember watching this being like, oh, damn.
I went home. We went home Saturday after, what was it? Was the race Saturday? We went home and it was just like, dude, it was a relief, because like all the, everybody's, the season we ended on, with Tom and everybody's just shitting on us. And you're like, to do that, and you're like, there's a lot of pressure. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves and him to go do that. It was like, dude, overnight bike sales, I feel like we launched the factory editions, and like we did the press release, the launch of I think everybody's up for and like overnight, people were like, dude, KTM. And then we were selling bikes, because like at the end of the day, we got to sell bikes. Like, and when you got like, if the people are not liking the bike, they're not going to sell bikes, because that's why we go racing, to sell bikes. And this guy is just a PR dream. Like it was like, there's not many people who can sell bikes. Ryan sells bikes, and this guy sells bikes, and you could see it in our sales numbers and everything. And it's freaking sweet. I
was talking to Sal at MotoGP.
Yep.
And he was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, first quarter was just, I think the KTM 450 was the top selling 450 in the United States.
I know, like, so that every year, so we started with the factory editions, and it was like, okay, we just did the KTM and they sold out quick. And then the last couple of years, both brands had the factory edition. I think you even have other OEMs doing factory editions, but like this guy signed up. We did the press release, and they had just launched the bike. And I think within a couple weeks, dealers had bought them, like, and they were sitting there for a while, because like people were hearing the negative stuff. And then overnight, this guy like changed the brand. Like it was, dude, I don't need to worry what other people think, but like it was cool to see, like, I'm a diehard KTM guy, and it was cool to be like, dude, KTM's sick. Like that made me happy inside. So it was cool to see.
Man, you're right, eh? And there's so few guys that can really move the needle like that. Yeah. And, it's really cool to get an example of a guy that actually made a difference.
No, and it was, like I said, we gave him the cable clutch, and people were like, no, that ain't going to happen. And
like, I did not think that would happen. I literally said it on here. I'm like, there's no way.
I think when he originally wrote it, it had the hydraulic, and he liked it. It was one of the better hydraulics that he said he's ridden. But I think you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and we had the cable. And no matter how good we made that hydraulic, which is pretty damn good, he's going to choose the cable. And he, like I said, since we got all the bells and whistles figured out and all the hiccups out of it, I don't touch the clutch. He just hops on, goes, and doesn't smoke them, and it's
the
nice.
KTM clutches are just different in general. I've never changed clutch plates in a KTM in my entire life.
Like I said, it's like you're getting what you pay for. Like it's you're people bitch like, oh, I'm paying $1,000 more, but that's why you're paying more. There's a lot of R&D. The materials are, I think the basket's steel, so it doesn't get all those grooves and stuff. So it.
Oh man, we used to do Honda clutch baskets. Like, I mean, it's different nowadays, but way back in the day, like they'd just be grooved out, and I was the shittest rider. So it's, it's not like I was fucking putting hard yards on these things.
Well, I mean, I remember when I was younger, and like I said, we were decent, not setting the world on fire, but you bought a 2-stroke. The first thing you did, you bought a Henson basket, because you knew like that thing's going to go to shit. Even if you're not hard on the clutch, it was going to go to crap. So yeah, it's come a long way since then. So
yeah, I mean, the feeling that you guys must have had going away from Canada must have just been the biggest relief.
Well, it's kind of like a roller coaster. You're like, okay, we're good for a couple weeks, and then we went to Australia, and it really wasn't that bad. Like the one.
Well, you guys only took one type of tire, right?
Yeah, so it was tough because you had to ship stuff in advance, and there's only so much you're allowed to bring, and I can't bring stuff because of customs. So I had a tire. He wrote a knobby tire the first practice, and it looked good. He's like, no, I think it was just Yamaha stuff. He still had that paddle. And like I said, I don't think it was a little bit the paddle, maybe a little bit suspension setup, because we got back home and we did our homework and worked on the shock a little bit. But a lot of it was just, we learned it was wheel spin. And those for sure. And those were man whoops. They weren't like 9 whoops, dinky whoops. Those were legit old school whoops. And I think he just come in and he was good at first and then just start spinning.
Just lose momentum.
Yeah, it would just start wheel spinning because he's hard on the throttle and it's got a lot of power. So it was a learning curve, but then everybody's like, oh, the honeymoon's over. And he left there. He wasn't like pissed. Like he was like, no, that's why we did this race. is So we're not going to Anaheim with our pants dumped between our legs, So
It was so hard, that track. It was so bad.
Well, you remember it didn't rain. They were expecting it to rain.
Yeah, that's why.
It never rained. And dude, it was like from first practice, it was hard as a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I love the section where it crossed over the start straight and you had the left and then the big right bowl turn. That bowl turn's like as big as this room.
It was huge.
And then it crossed across the start line again. And none of them were getting traction across there. It was all just like, and they were just like clicking gears.
Even the mechanics area was like you crossed it, and dude, I remember Eli, he just gets in and lets her eat. Dude, that thing was just like flat track, and I'm like, I don't even know how you're doing this with a paddle tire, but dude, the dude's an animal. I mean,
it was so cool to watch. Like I'm even digging. You'll see this.
Yeah, the little battle with him and Deegan inside the finish.
Nah, go to World Supercross Gold Coast. Yeah, and the battle with him and Deegan was like unreal. Gold Coast 2025. Just go to any one of these. Or maybe like the race 2. Yeah, SX1 race 2. Just like go into the meat of this race. It's probably the battle right here.
Yeah, I think it was like middle towards the end, and then he spun out before the whoops.
Oh God.
Oh, was it this one?
Yeah. So watch this section. I remember that. Fuck, Deegs was loose.
This video doesn't even do it justice for how dry it was.
Nah, but like that section right there,
dude,
is just They're just on the limiter, bro.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was just so cool to see guys move around.
Yeah.
Like they could actually move around.
And look how tight it is.
Yeah.
I mean, look how tight the racing is. Like one guy
Three of them on a triple up ramp. It's crazy. There comes Eli now in the back. Yeah, here's the whoop section. This was a big whoop section.
Dude, I remember they were like massive. Yeah, see, like he got in straight. He's starting a little wheel spin there, but it just got drier and drier, and they didn't put any water down.
I just don't think they could. And
even if you did, it wasn't going to do anything.
Look at that. I love this. Yeah. Like, when was the last time we saw this in an AMA Supercross race? Well, can you remember?
Yeah, like old school, like back when like Ryan and those guys were maybe 16, 17.
That's 10 years, dude, since we've seen anything like this.
Yeah. Well, you kind of like want to blame the tracks, but I think the bikes, they're so fast.
Yeah, but
everything was more open.
But look how shiny that is.
Yeah.
So like that's been prepped, and that's hard.
Yeah.
That is hard as a rock.
Yeah, right there. The old paddle got us right there.
Well, yeah, he's like on the side of that thing where there's just no.
I'm glad he didn't go for the double. That would have been dangerous. And then also too, like we were using that race, and I don't know what his deal was. He probably just it was more of like a bursty. You get show up, probably. So it's like he probably could have went and did something stupid and crashed, but he's like, we're just learning the bike, making sure. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do something land on my head. So,
no, it was pretty sweet to. Yeah, just to see him out there. Do you reckon that he'll do it again?
I hope he does, because honestly, I liked it. Was fun traveling, and B, it's just like it's a good race. Like there's you put pressure, but it's not like going to Anaheim when you're like
so different.
Yeah, it's like there's still pressure. You want to like we're all racers, we want to win, but like I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah. Right after the highly controversial SMX final in Vegas, Jo Shimoda flew his championship trophy back to his home country of Japan, and we followed him. In the second part of our 100-hour series, we spent 100 hours in Japan to do a deep cultural dive into the racing scene and followed Jo back to his hometown of Suzuka to explore his cultural roots and hang with his awesome family as he enjoyed the small amount of downtime he gets in Japan each year. To watch the full 100-hour piece, hit the link in the description or search 100 Hours with Jo Shimoda on YouTube. So let's go back a bit further into your story and to your life.
Yep.
So was it always a goal to be a mechanic? Did you want to be a racer? Like, how did it come to be that now you're the mechanic of one of the best riders of all time?
So it started '05 was kind of like my last year. Like I was trying. And then '06 came, and I'm like, yeah, it ain't in the cards for me. And then I actually want to be a woodworker. I went to college to be a cabinet maker, like build kitchen cabinets and stuff. And then,
did you finish that?
Yep, I did that. And then I went to go work for a cabinet shop. And then it was the summer. Ryan was on Makita Suzuki, and he was coming to ride in Minnesota for the summer. I went to work that day, and it was just coincidence. Don't know how it transpired, but I went to work. My boss got his thumb cut off. I don't think he got cut off, but he was doing something with the table saw. You shouldn't do it. And I just watched it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm driving home, and he just called me. Hey, you want to be my practice mechanic? I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, let's. And I'm young. I probably should have made more money in the cabinet stuff and stuck with that. But I'm like, okay, I get to be around dirt bikes all summer. And I think he's a little bit of a tight ass. I think I was getting $200 a week but I'm living at home, so like it is what it is. And then that's kind of I got into that. And then I didn't really know I wanted to be a mechanic, like to do this full time. And then a couple of years went on, and then me and him kind of parted ways in '09. It was kind of like when him and J-Law it was tough. Like he was mentally, like all younger riders go through it. They, have a struggle, bust a little bit. And I'm just like, me and, brothers are fight. So I'm like, fuck you, I'm out of here. So I went to go pour concrete for my grandpa for that summer in '09. End of '09 or beginning of '09 to meet my wife, then was one night stand, but now it's my wife. And I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to be a mechanic. So she was living in California. I moved out there.
Yeah.
Worked for Herlings Motorsports. Her dad, he was like, I don't think this is a good idea having your boyfriend work here, but I ended up working for him. And I worked for him maybe for 6 months. And then his uncle Andrew, Grant's mechanic in the GPs, he was working for Mike Brown at the time, and he wanted to go in-house doing engines. So there was a spot open to be a mechanic for Mike Brown for the off-road team.
Ah.
So I was like, okay, sign me up. So I got an interview with Auntie. He's like, he's in charge of everything at on the off-road side. So really, I owe a lot to my career to Auntie, because he took a chance on me and got my foot in the door. And then I was Mike Brown's mechanic. And when I first heard, like, really, Mike Brown, I'm like, I was a little nervous, but I was young and stupid and whatever. So that worked out good. And then, learned a couple tricks. And I thought, like, okay, I'm a good mechanic. I know everything. And then I got to the factory side, and they're teaching me stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't know my shit. Like, I know enough, but like these guys really took me under their wing, and I learned a lot from them. And then just each year, just kind of, I finally got a rider, and just kind of kept moving up. And that's kind of how I'm to this point now. So I really owe a lot to like Auntie getting my, I don't give him enough credit, but he really took a chance on me. And if it weren't for him saying, hey, I'm going to give you a chance on the off-road, I don't think I'd probably be here today. I mean, I would have worked hard to get to this point, but I don't think my path would have led me there like it did. So
that's super cool.
So I'm pretty fortunate. So.
Yeah, right. I never knew that about the cabinet making.
Yeah. I was going to do, I to this day, like I'll still do wood projects and so on, but that's what I wanted to do. But just so happened that day, I'm like, yeah, fuck it, let's go do wrenching on dirt bikes. There's nothing like, there's days like you put in the hours, you're like, dude, why the hell am I doing this? But like on build days, that's when I'm like, okay, this is why I do this. I love working on the dirt bike, having it laid out. It's like a big puzzle piece. And then when you win, you're like, it's even like build days when you win, you're like, oh, this is sick. And then build days when you're like, you get your ass handed to you, like, oh, this freaking son, what the hell am I doing? And it's just a roller coaster. Like, it's addicting. So that's why we do it.
So was your dad practice mechanic for Ryan for the first little bit?
Yeah. So when I kind of was out of it, Dad.
Oh, he stepped in.
Dad stepped in.
Okay.
It was, and then Dad was doing it for a couple years, and then right when Ryan went to Alden's, you were talking about Big Rick that one time. That's when Big Rick kind of stepped in, and then Dad went back to do concrete, and then Ryan ended up hiring Joel, one of Carlos Rivera, the race mechanic at the time. His buddy was doing practice stuff for him, and he was basically his practice mechanic all the way to the end till he retired. And it's kind of how that all went down. So
how was those years working with Ryan?
It was sick. We got to go ride at Stewart's house. We lived down in Stewart's.
Yeah,
so like,
that's right.
Just being like, I remember we first rolled up to Stewart's. He took Ryan under his wing, and just being in his race shop. I think the dad's got cars in there now, but it was like just all his championship bikes, and we worked in that little garage right there. And
the green one?
No, at first it was next to it. So first the green was like show pony when we were there. It was like for the dad's mule and stuff. And then we were next to it in the big building.
In the shed that's next to it?
Yep. Yeah. And then now I think everything was like, when I went there with Chase, he was riding at James's place, and then we were in that green shop. But dude, it was just so cool. It was just Just like James Stewart, like this is unreal.
When I was there, they had that green next to the green shop, the big shed.
Yep.
The mezzanine just had all these bikes.
And that's how it was when I worked there.
Yeah,
and
up there on top.
And I think when I went back in 21, we did a test with Chase at Factory Honda there, and the bikes were still there, but they're all just covered in dust. You're like, dude, that's the 2-stroke. Like, that's history. You're just like, to them, it's like, oh, that's my champion bike. But I think that's me. That's where the Bubba Scrub came from. You're like, this is sick.
Did you see the gold? That gold Ninja?
The two brother. Yeah. Because I think I ended up learning the story. Jeremy Albrook, his mechanic, that was his brother owned. Somehow his brother owned two brothers, and that's how that whole tie. I might be wrong, but I think that's how I heard the story was. But dude, that gold, dude, you're just like, what the hell? But I think he kept that when he lived on the property. That was in the house back behind the mom and dad's place, and he kept all that in there. And when that thing was like pristine, like no dust, you're like, what the hell? This is sick.
Yeah, it's a wild facility that they got there. It's funny how you kind of found your way back there multiple times through your career too.
I can close my eyes and I still remember driving in. You're just like middle of nowhere, all of a sudden, kind of like a rundown neighborhood. Boom, you see the door, the Stewart compound, and it's just like a big playground. Like it's sick.
He was pretty much the first one to take it to that level.
Yeah, because I mean, Carmichael always had his, but dude, like.
But Carmichael's farm was a farm.
It was a farm, yeah. Like, dude, you rolled up to James, and it was like pristine tracks. Like, it was the first, like, what it is now, like how everybody keeps their stuff. That was the first, in my opinion, the first compound.
For sure. Yeah, Ricky's had, I mean, the first time I went to Ricky's, they had the old house, which is still there.
Yep.
He lived in that.
Yep.
They lived in that.
Yeah, I think they said Eldon stayed in there, the pilot.
Yep.
And then you had the main, you've been to that shop. It was just a dirt, like it was just.
Yeah, it was literally dirt floor.
Like I remember it was just orange, and you're like, I mean, it worked. Yeah. And then you had I think there was another shop next to it, and that's where you'd walk in, and there was like Honda magnesium throttle bodies just laying on the ground, and you're just like, oh my God, like what the hell?
Yeah.
And,
but it wasn't like what James had.
No.
Like it was purely just a workbench.
It just got the job done just enough, and yeah.
But James had like the lights, the multiple tracks, the shops,
And I feel like James was Barnett always did stuff, but James when he got Baker to come in and do the outdoor track, that was like he took it to another. Because I remember like dude, back in the day, the two when Ryan was riding there, we had the Arm Z250, and like the bikes were good, but like dude, if you dropped a valve and stuff, like you're dead. And
how was Ryan jumping those jumps for the first
he jumped
time?
He jumped them, and you're just like, dude, if the bike breaks right now, like you're dead. And like you've been there before. It was just like this, the landings,
unreal.
Like 450, no problem, but 250, you're like, you guys shouldn't really be jumping this stuff. And like it wasn't so much Supercross was bad, but outdoors and they would do 40s. It wasn't just like 30 plus 2. So you're like, if this bike grenades, you're done, dude. I'm sorry, like it's gonna hurt. Luckily, everything went good, no problems, but it was cool.
How was it managing the relationship with Ryan through those days?
It was tough. Like he's figuring himself out as a person, and I'm still young, and then you got the teenage hormones and stuff, and like it was just me and him. So like when you snap at somebody, it's your family, and you're gonna talk to your family different than you do somebody else. So I think and I was a little punk ass myself, like we were both just idiots. So I think that's why kind of when we were young, it didn't work out. But then later on in career, I got to work with him, be his test bike guy and stuff. So it kind of maturity came in, that helped a little bit. So
it never got like bad though between you?
No, we could fight with each other, and the next minute we're like best buds. That's just how our family works. Like, F you, and then your next day you're like, hey, let's go get some ice cream. That's how we were. So.
It's cool that it stayed good and it didn't like kind of affect.
Like I talked to Ryan maybe once a day, dad, mom. We're very tight, so it's kind of cool.
Dude, Ryan's the man.
Yeah.
He's
It's awesome. And then this weekend, this coming weekend, they're doing the McGrath Whole Shot Challenge.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get him a bike.
Oh.
We gotta get it okayed. I think we're just gonna.
Well, he's living in Nashville.
Yeah, he's like in Frankfurt.
That's right.
So I guess they're shutting down the strip, and McGrath's putting on his thing, and he's like, all right, let's do it. And then, I wanted to use my bike, my Triple Crown bike, because but then you're like, it's got the cable clutch, and you don't want to like set a frenzy, like, like the media, on the sales side, like, because that's Eli demands a cable clutch. That's Eli, but if you see somebody else on it, it could deter like the whole, and he's never even ridden the bike. He just thinks it's cool. But I think we're having him ride AP's bike and kind of set it up for him, but it's going to be cool.
Could AP get a cable clutch if you wanted it?
I don't think so.
That's so fucking gangster, bro.
And you feel bad because it's like, but it's just, you don't, it's Eli Tomac. Like it's not even, it doesn't affect the sales side because like our clutch is really good.
Yeah.
But if it were somebody else, you'd be like, okay, maybe the hydraulic shit, but it's not. But Eli Tomac, that's his MO. Like it's a cable. So he gets away with it.
That's just the coolest.
And when you've won that many times, you have that many championships, it's there you go. So
there's not many dudes. I mean, you know, we're saying, but like we don't have a Max Verstappen. That's Max Verstappen.
Yep.
Like Eli,
Yep.
in that regard, that's some Max Verstappen shit. That you could walk into a team that doesn't have a hydraulic clutch and just be like.
It's funny because I remember back when Ryan first got on the bike, the clutch was good, but we were still learning. Like we've learned a lot over the years. I think he asked Raj, "Hey, can I get a cable clutch?" Because I think Ricky was in his ear. You need a cable, and dude, Raj lit his ass up. And then it's funny now we got the cable clutch. I'm like, dude, we got a cable clutch. Look, we got it. And he was kind of laughing, so kind of full circle.
Oh man, yeah, but it's cool. AP is probably like bummed not to be able to try it, but then there's probably like the part of him that's like,
well, I think he looked at it.
I get it.
Well, he looked at it and he was like, "Oh, that's sick." But like, dude, our hydraulic, we got that thing.
No, they are.
It's like butter. Like even the production's a little stiff. Ours is like, yeah. And like everybody's like, "Oh, the cable's so sick," but like you have to be on your shit. The cable gets not, like it's just a cable, so like it can get stiff. So I have to be on my shit, having that thing lubed up and fresh every time. So there's some positives and negatives, but it's just that's what makes the guy tick. So
yeah, I just love that he can demand that.
Yeah, yeah. And when he came, he wasn't like demanding. I guess I wasn't involved in the talks. He was like, "Hey, you think you guys can maybe do this?" And Roger and Rini were like, "I gotta ask higher ups. Like, we'll give it to you, but like it's got to be approved." And they came back, "Yeah, here you go." And then a dude in Austria made it. It was basically a whole kit. And dude, when we first got the prototype, I'm like, "Dude, this is a works part. Like, this is probably cool." If you were to ask me what the coolest part of my bike right now is, it's the cable part.
How does it work? Just like any
It's like a Japanese, the way we have it set up.
Did you guys have to do much to modify the setup?
Yeah, there was a lot of plug and play internally, but the cool part was how like we weren't arc at the time, but we're like, well, we can go make our own perch and everything. We can do that, but like this guy already sells it, so like half the puzzle was already done, and he was already with Yamaha already on an arc setup. So that guy, we worked with him, and he gave us different ratios and stuff to try and all that stuff, and it was just a matter of plug and play. But it wasn't something that happened overnight. Like everybody thinks, oh, you just slapped it on and it's good to go. It took about a good, when I say month, us going back to the shop, going back to Colorado, fine tuning it. And there was a point he was going to stick with hydraulic because it was really good. We had it really good, but then he did the cable and something about the whoops. He can like he can feel it, where the hydraulic, you can feel it, but it's like, you got that mechanical.
So there's like a feedback where so you'll have your finger on the clutch.
He can come in and
it'll pull against it.
Yep. And he can like, instead of like most guys modulate it he just kind of goes like this and just kind of and slips it a little. And you can do that with the hydraulic, but
the thing is that the hydraulic doesn't push back on your finger.
Yes. And that's what he likes about that. So it's like, all right, if you're going to go win, freaking here you go. So yeah, dude, it's like I said, it's sick.
I want to see, look at that thing. So after we did the pod, I actually had the arc lever for my 450. It's actually on my 250.
Yep.
But I have like the same thing, and I like took a photo of it, and I was like, should I put this puppy on? Because I had the hydraulic.
There it is.
Oh yeah, pause that.
Now they coated it, so it's got a coating on it, because that's just raw.
Yeah.
I actually like it raw. I think it looks trick, but it gets hammered, and then it's just a cool part. Like that's, to me, like that's factory. When you think of like factory like that, that's freaking a factory part.
Dude, how many do you think they'd sell if they released it?
Dude,
thousands.
Not that it makes your bike go any better, but I think all your diehard vets, they'll be like,
just
because and I'm sure somebody's eventually gonna go out and make it, but I just wish they would make it and then sell it in the Power Parts catalog, because I think your diehard people, like, even if it don't work better, like they're gonna spend the money because I want to be like Eli.
That's exactly what I got. I had the Yamaha. You can put the cable, the hydraulic on the kit.
Yep.
So because I was on the 25, so I had the kit for the hydraulic and then the arc lever, and I like taking a photo on both of them. And he's like, "Yeah, put that sucker on, put that sucker on the left on."
And honestly, like that's only half the puzzle. Like that was the hard part, but even the arc part, there was a lot that went into like that guy. I felt bad for him because, okay, Eli likes this lever. Okay, I'll make 10 of them. Hey, Eli changed today. He wanted this. Okay. So they're the dude that guy took care of us. Like that company is freaking top notch, and he makes he's like I want to just make sure the lever looks good every time. I'll give you whatever you want. Just that's my logo right there, and that's all I want is to look good when the bike's on the stand. And yeah, like I said, for a sponsor these days, like that dude's top notch. That company.
It's cool. I mean, even for him, right? Like to have a guy that you can just go to. He's a local. I'm pretty sure they're local.
Yeah, they're. If you go, oh shoot, I had to go up there pick up some parts. It's past Ontario, past the airport. Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Yep, he's up there.
So it's like that's just a local dude, and so he has been making these levers forever.
Yeah,
and he just makes this badass product that the most badass dude in the sport swears by.
Well, it's funny too because I think if you overhearing some of this stuff, I think Eli was one of the main ARC guys back in the day. So when he found out, like before we started going down the rabbit hole of cable clutch, we kind of asked him, hey, can we get a clutch? And then he was like, oh, what are you guys doing? So that's how we started. We got the perch from him. And then he basically said, hey, I'll do whatever. We need to sponsor you guys. And that's kind of how they came to that because a lot of the times we had outsourced our own levers and stuff, but they were just raw aluminum. Cause like if you dynotize stuff, the rock damage, like if you saw some of like Eli's good cause he's out front, but like if you're in the back, dude, the thing gets pitted and it's just nasty.
Yeah.
So our main thing is like, dude, we don't want black levers cause you can't change them and it's just going to cost a lot. And this guy's like, no, don't worry about that. Like I'll take care of you. And like I said, and honestly, I think I've only used 2 levers this year and I changed it just for cosmetic, just to make it look pretty for the fans. So, but yeah, that dark dude, he's a bad dude.
How cool is that there's just that guy's out there and he can be this important to a guy. Like you just get the top guy loves this special part and then everyone's like, cool, man. Like just no other, for people listening, it's like no other rider could demand this.
No.
There's no one else that could make this happen the way that Eli has made this happen.
Like I think say you just hypothetically, if Kenny came over, hey, I want a hydraulic clutch, I don't think he would have got, like it's Eli Tomac. And I think, like you said, the only guy like that can demand that. I think anybody else would be like, yeah, no, sorry, but this is what you got.
So
it's funny because like leading up to the press launch, people were like, the keyboard, you got Vital on the bottom. The keyboard warriors, they ain't gonna happen. And
I was one of them,
which is cool. Like I get it, but it was just funny. And then it happened, and it was just like, dude, the internet blew up that day. It was sick.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally one of them. Like there would be a clip of me being like, "There's no way," just from knowing how factory KTM is.
Yeah, no, it's like I said that the company's gotten looser over the years. If Eli would have came maybe 4 or 5 years ago, probably not. But we've learned to adapt, and like I said, we just want the guys to be happy. And if that's what it takes to make this guy win a championship, then all right, let's do it. So,
he's damn close.
Yeah, it's like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, I'm very proud of what we've done up to this point. And like I said, we give him all the tools, and I think he can do it. I really believe he can. We just need to get some good results this weekend. And but either way, even last year we came up 2 points short with Chase. Dude, it's so depressing when you don't win, but like you sit back, okay, 7 wins, like not many people can do that. And
for sure, it's not many people have won 7.
It's pretty cool. So like even Eli, we won 4 so far. Like it's nice. But if he can freaking finish this, I don't know. I might be like, fuck this, I'm out. Got my championship, and I don't know what the hell I would do, but I'd do it. It would be cool. Like I won a couple lights championships and been close in the 450, but like to win a Supercross, like, dude, I'd be pumped.
Especially from just starting as your bro's mechanic, practice mechanic.
Yeah, when we were little, like you just read cycle news, like you didn't really know much about the sport, and then it's you kind of pinch yourself, like I'm at the top right now, but I never thought you would make it, and you take it for granted for some days, but it's pretty special.
So going back to the racing, when you were racing, how far off Dunge were you?
Me and Ryan were close, and it was actually so we rode at my grandpa's house, and I'd be on my 125 and he'd be on his 80, and he'd kind of keep up a little bit, but I was always faster. And then when he got to the big bikes is when something like switched, and he was good, but then he got confidence and he knew he wanted to do that. And that's when I was like, fucking, and he started training, and I was just started going like this. So, but honestly, if you go to look back, my little brother, Blaker, we thought he was going to be he's the whole reason why we all had Suzuki rides and stuff was because of Blake.
That's right.
Yeah. He was he was good. Like it just came natural, but then he's kind of like me, the work side. We just kind of ran on talent a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Ryan started working out and stuff. And then,
So was Ryan would you say, the least talented in the family?
yeah, I'd say me and him were close, but yeah, he had to make up for on the work side of things. Like, it just didn't come naturally to him like it did me and Blaker. But then when it came to like make that next jump where you're like, you get on big bikes and you either make it or break it, that's when yeah.
Isn't it wild that the one with the least amount of talent was the one that is one of the best riders of all time?
And I think it was he got to watch me riding, so he picked up on stuff. But then our little brother was even better because he watched both of us. So it was just, and the little one just, I feel like the sibling of the family just boom boom picks it up easier and just naturally just gifted. But yeah, dude, and you look back like how he got to be a pro, like he did it with hard work, but like for Raj to take a chance on him like that, you got a little bit of luck too. You know, like most guys, if a guy came up to me right now in the semi, like, hey, let me ride your bike, and you didn't know who he was, like, hey, you get that, like, come on, get out of here. So like the fact Raj took a chance on him is pretty.
Do you remember how that all came about?
Yeah, so Big E with Jo Shimoda.
Yeah.
He was our gear guy at the time, Answer. And that's how we became friends with him, and he kind of helped guide Ryan. So Ryan was actually supposed to be WBR Suzuki. They were gunning for him. He even did a test ride.
That would have been a disaster.
Yeah, well, we didn't know. Like, like we had the Suzukis, but we didn't. Our bikes weren't modded, so we didn't have the problems like they had. And I remember him saying the day he went test rode the Suzuki at WBR, Sipes broke his wrist because the engine blew up. And he had a good test, everything was good, and he was like, and then Big E's like, don't sign anything. Let me talk to Raj, because I think it was either Hepler or Dave. It was maybe Davey was hurt, so he got him a test on Davey's bike because it was just sitting there. And then Raj, they kept going to the races. Raj, I want to ride for you. And then finally, like, God, shut up. Okay, let you ride. He went out road, and I think he crashed right off the get-go. Bike was just full of mud.
Yeah.
And then he went back out, and then they're like, dude, what are we doing? And then he went back out, and I think he was keeping close to Ricky at Glen Helen. And then that's basically how he got it. And then, yeah. And then he won he did those first 3 motocross races. And they were, the first one, Millville was good. It was mutter, but he actually stopped and picked Josh Grant's bike up because they were buddies at the time. And he was stuck under his bike because it was a full mutter that year. And he picked Josh Grant. He would have done better. I think he got 5th or 6th, but he helped JG pick his bike up because it was landing on him. He's just like,
that's insane.
And then he still finished, but it was good. And then the next 2 were tough. And then he went out and won his first East Coast Supercross. And then the pressure came, and it was kind of like a roller coaster. But
I wonder with Dunge how it's not like, I'm not in no disrespect.
No,
but like just I've known him for so long now that I feel like I watched him through so many phases of his career and like kind of and knew him enough to be like, I would talk to him and whatever in those times, right? And I was like filming him and I was around. So it's like I know the roller coaster that he went through.
Yeah.
I wonder if he did have to go to a WBR privateer Suzuki team and they were having tons of black troubles and he didn't have Roger. Like, I
don't think it would have panned out.
Yeah, would it have panned out the way that it did?
I think he would have just been another guy through the ringer, and I just don't know. I mean, you don't know how the equipment was either, but
that's what I'm saying.
I think he would have just been chewed up and spit out real quick, like kind of a privateer. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff lined up. Like I know he, a lot of was his work.
Well, I was gonna say he worked for it,
but he had a little luck on his side. Like,
well, and just to have I guess it's more the self-doubt that he went through.
Yeah.
Like I just know he went through so much personal self-doubt. And it's like he went through that with Roger DeCoster, with Factory Suzuki, with like this crazy, again, all hard work got him there, all of his own talent. Like he got himself there.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, if he went and just had a Suzuki blow up on an up ramp of a triple and like, we might have just missed out on one of the best riders of all time, just purely by like a left-right moment in time.
Yeah, like I said, I think you look back at his career, like me outside looking in and kind of, being involved. There was 2 times in his career that I think were tough. Was the J Law.
Yeah,
that was mentally, he was young and didn't know how to handle the pressure, and that cracked him. And then after 2010, when he won that year. That next year was tough because now the pressure, you're the champ, like I think it all came at him. So those were the 2 defining, I feel like, in his career. And then the first couple of years in KTM, they weren't hard, but it was tough. But then when he really like kind of set off was 15. That's when everything kind of really clicked for him and just knocked off wins. And I mean, dude, he basically set the path to like just be a podium guy and you can win a championship. Like that's really kind of, he paved the way a little bit for that, or showed you don't have to win every single race to win a championship. So
yeah, isn't it funny that you have guys that come along and they influence how the sport goes?
Yep.
So you had Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just don't think anyone could really top Jeremy. Like,
yeah,
I don't think anyone's ever followed that model. Like maybe Jett, but not even.
Yeah.
Not even. You know. So you had Ricky, and it was just hard work. Beat the piss out of the track and the motorcycle and your competition. And then you had a lot of people tried to emulate that. And then that gave you Villapotos and like that gave you so many, like the Alessis and just gnarly dudes.
Yep.
And then you had James that was just this freak speed and talent. And then you start to see like, I'm thinking like Stroops, Izzy's, Canards, where it was just like speed, raw speed.
Yep.
And they influenced that generation. And then Dungey comes along. And then Dungey completely like revolutionizes the sport in his own way to where it's like now it ain't about winning every race and winning by huge margins. It's like Moneyball. Like you can win the championship playing Moneyball. You know, and Dungey was that guy. And then now you see, you know, like Eli has taken so much from Dungey. Cooper Webb has taken so much
look
from
at
Dungey.
Coop last year.
Yeah.
Like we won 7 races and the guy beat us by 2 points. You know, like you just got to be there and just limit your mistakes and just freaking take race by race. And like I said, we're getting heat right now online. People are blowing my Instagram. What the hell are you guys doing?
But that's
like,
the plan. Like you guys are still sticking to the plan.
Yeah. Like you guys sit back. I told Frankie, we're still got the red plate. You know, we're tied with the red plate, but we're still there. Like there's races to go. We just got to keep going. Like don't freak out. And
you know. And that's the playbook.
Yeah.
That Dungey wrote.
Yep.
And he just proved it over and over and over. And now you can't argue. No. And then I look at Jett. Bro, Jett's still taken from Dungey's playbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's got the speed to do 1 minute plus victories.
He's like a once in a generation type what do you call it? Skill. Like just very naturally gifted, and it's
But he's still, instead of the James Stewart thing, which is very possible, like there's been, I'm sure you've seen sections of track where you're just like, brother, what? And he could do that on every section of the track, and he doesn't.
Yeah. And it's just funny, like the one year he won the whole, you know, every race outdoors. I think, where was it? We were at, it was in the mechanics area, and it was going up the uphill at Bud's Creek, and he was jumping the braking bump. And it was something so simple that nobody paid attention. He just like, so he started telling us, like I was working AP at the time, hey, just jump the braking bumps. Watch this guy. And then next thing you know, he's going, you know, AP's going home watching, like, okay. And then he's picking, you know, like you just got to pick up on that little stuff. And it's so simple, but you're like, oh, this guy figured it out. But
well, there was one at Unadilla. If you go to the This Is Lawrence Unadilla, have you seen where there's one where he like jumps down the hill and then jumps to the inside? And it's so rough and so gnarly. And he just goes, bro, and then into an inside rut. Like, I couldn't even ride around that inside rut with no braking bumps before it. Just smooth, give me a smooth run at that.
Just hang on to it.
Perfectly set up bike, and I'm not going to even be able to hit that rut. And then he's like, go into like the second moto.
And I feel like there's times like you watch.
Yeah, watch through, go back. Yeah, just whatever the second moto stuff. Yeah, go forward.
And the dude's probably not even like.
Not even thinking about it.
And you know, sad part is he's probably like not 100% with the bike, but he's so naturally, his body, like his legs are just like, it's like if Stefan Everett and Ricky had a baby and like, all right.
Yeah, go forward a little bit more, like get into it a little bit. But yeah, this is just the perfect example of where he was on that correct. Like, look at
him jump that.
Just even that.
Like even his brother, he's just kind of like going through the like mad dogging through, and he's just so light.
And again, though, like this is what's possible, but he's still following your brother's playbook.
Yeah.
You know? So like that's the impact. Like, dude, this is crazy because like look at his brother. Look at Hunter,
hanging on for dear life, and dude, Jett looks like he's just like out there for a Sunday cruise.
Like Unbelievable. Oh, there was this one bit I wish I could. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, it's just like the.
Even sitting here watching, it's like, oh, it's kind of cool to
I
watch.
know, yeah.
Yeah, look how he like jumps down, and he's just. No, it's.
Yeah, here we go. Wait, yeah, this might be something. No. But anyway, so it's just like I think that you get these guys like Ryan that just came along and
just leave their little mark on the sport.
Yeah, they
leave their little playbook. Yeah.
Yeah, they just change it in and it's like a part of this evolution, and then it's like maybe now Jett's got it to the point where it's like, okay, so you're gonna have the Stewart level talent and the Ryan Dungey level like mentality and mental fortitude to go.
I bet it was
bro. Go back real quick. Look at this shit.
Yeah, he like just jumps the bumps. I think why you're talking I call it screw you. I don't know what they call it anymore. It's the downhill after this.
Yeah. Like, look at that, dude.
Yeah, it's
like unbelievable.
Unreal.
But yeah, just like to be a guy that just influenced the sport in that way. And you would have seen from, you see it from him as a kid and everything that Ryan went through in his career. Like, it's pretty surreal to what he ended up
especially
becoming.
Minnesota, we're in the middle of nowhere, and the fact that you were able to, like, now the MO is like, are you riding California? You ride year round, and that's you got to just do laps. Well, we had to take the whole winter off. We had to go ice skating or snowboarding and stuff. The fact that he was able to make it at that level and not the traditional like how the kids make it nowadays is crazy.
Also, too, the fact that he had to move to California pretty much by himself when he was super young, and like he never changed. No, he kept the same truck. Yeah,
and he still, I think he gave it to my grandma for years down the road because he's like, I gotta. Yeah, he's a tight ass. He's got he won the Toyota Tundra from the shootout, so that was his Florida truck, and then he didn't know what to do with the Nissan, so my mom and dad just kept that at the house. That was like our whatever go-to truck running around, and then he's very frugal with his money, like which is good. You don't want to be blowing it, but
it's just more. I think maybe that's what rattled him so much with the J-Law thing, is because he couldn't be more opposite than J-Law.
Yeah, dude, I don't know that he had the good head games, man. Like people probably know, but like they would line up on the doghouse, and J-Law would be like slamming on the dog, like he got it, like he knew how to screw around. And I don't think people talk about it, but at the test track at Suzuki, there was a big concrete pad. Somehow he got up because at Honda, there's Honda at the bottom and there's Suzuki up here. There's a fence. So he jumped over the fence, got over to Suzuki and put a 1W with a rear tire before Ryan went out and rode whatever that day. Just the little mental games. It was just like,
no.
Yeah. You're like, how the hell do you guys think of like, I would never thought to do that, but yeah, it was just the mental side. Ryan was not, he cracked, and he learned from it, but that's what made him, throughout the years that made him better. He learned from it and didn't let it happen again.
What was the conversations that he was having with you about that during that time?
He was it cooked him. Like he really mentally just fell apart. And then Johnny O, he was working for Johnny O, and I feel like Johnny O he's good, but I think he's relaxed over the years, but he was on Ryan, and then Raj was on Ryan, and it was just like 17 or whatever, he was 17. You just, all that pressure, I think he just cracked. But he instead of like crying under, crawling under a rock and like being a little baby, he learned from it and didn't let it happen again. So yeah, it was learning, but that year was tough.
We haven't really seen anyone do that except Deegan. Like Deegan's kind of copying that playbook now.
Deegan, and like the younger riders, like they crack, and it's his dad's probably the best at that stuff, and he learned from the best. So it's kind of funny to watch. I'm glad. We have to race him soon, so I'm sure we're going to be dealing with that same shit this summer. But like, I'm going to give it back. Like if he messes with me, I know Eli won't like it. But I'm like, I'm going to give him shit back. Like, because to me, he's just a little kid. Like I remember seeing the kid when he was this. I got pictures with my son at the Paula, one of my brother's ride days, because I think he looked up to Ryan, and he's just a little kid. So it's kind of funny, like see him now. He's this big star, but yeah.
How's it going to work in the 450 class though?
I think he'll probably screw around with guys, but like the mental side's a little bit stronger, I feel, for these guys, and like they're just probably gonna be like, whatever. If it gets on the track and gets gnarly, they ain't gonna take it over. I think they're gonna give it back, but I think he's probably gonna do the same stuff. But like the 450 guys are no joke. They're not all of them, but those top guys are their mental game. Like you ain't gonna fucking crack Cooper Webb. If anything, he pulls that shit on him. You're gonna motivate these guys, and it's tough. But
Jett was in here, and we didn't talk any Deegan stuff on the pod, but he's fired up.
no, I just think all those little
like-
comments, and I think it's he does it on purpose. Secretly, I bet the kid looks up to all these guys. Like, dude,
For sure.
like we were at where is it? Australia, and Deegan was pitted right here, and dude, he's just a little super fan, but he talks shit. But it's just it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. He's very talented. It's gonna be. But your 450 guys, it's a new game, but it's gonna be cool to watch. I think the fans are gonna be stoked. I think the riders aren't gonna be pumped with it with the shit talking, but it's gonna give it good TV ratings. So
I just wonder, it just works so well now because he's 2 seconds a lap faster.
yeah,
So it's like a fighter that's knocking everyone out.
yeah,
So it's like, what are you gonna say?
yeah. And you're like, hey, he backs it up. So
Conor McGregor, do something.
Yeah.
You'll do nothing.
yeah. I mean, he's freaking. It's one thing to talk shit and not back it up, but the fucker backs it up.
But
So
you
you're-
can't talk shit when you're not backing it up.
No,
It just
it's-
you look like an idiot.
Yeah,
But he can literally do and say whatever he wants.
yeah. If you go out and win, you can freaking get away with murder, and you're yeah. Look at Hunter. I say this, maybe he takes us out next week, and I don't know, but look at San Diego. He could have went in for the kill.
Big time.
He could have done a dick move, and I respect him because it's like these guys, they race hard. They're gonna be aggressive and show wheel, but they're not gonna just be stupid because they, there's some level of respect. So you gotta pick and choose your battles. I feel like.
Yeah, that was put yourself in Hunter's position.
I would have done it. I would have dude, dude. I would have been so bummed.
That's not
but,
where I was going with it, but,
dude, there's these guys make a lot of money for
Fuck
winning.
yeah,
so
dude.
keep watching me interrupt you.
No. I love it. I mean, put yourself in Hunter's position of, I'm more thinking about the pressure to get your first victory.
Yeah, that too.
So he got 4th at A1, and then he goes to San Diego, and then it's like he's got a chance.
Yep.
So right there, and then he just doesn't take it.
Yeah.
He doesn't take the shot. He could have taken it,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure that he would have felt, and all of the media being like, Hunter needs to win. Hunter's a championship guy. Everyone's telling him he's a championship guy. He's never even won a Supercross race.
Yeah.
So think about, that's the level of decision making
Mm-hmm.
in the moment that those 450 guys are going with, because that's going through his head at that moment, which is wild.
And it's mature enough. He's probably in his head. These lights guys they think about right now. This guy 17 rounds is tough, dude. To do all 17, it takes a little bit of luck. You got to be fit, but the lights class it's tough. Don't get me wrong, but it's only what 8, whatever 8.
Not even close.
He's gonna be good, but you have to race these guys 17 rounds, and it's a whole new animal. 450s is tough, dude.
It's just gonna be it's so interesting, and I'm so excited for it.
Yeah,
because he's at peak.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you guys to the other dudes,
Yeah.
and it's that's on the track, that's off the track, and that's he's peak character level of what his personality in the sport is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like that's just been building every year, more dominant, more aggressive, more dominant, more fans, more attention, crushing it. And then it's he's going down, not to the bottom of the rung.
no, but now you're new kid on the block.
Yeah.
and you're all the pressure's on you, so it's like when Jett moved the 450. It's
Hard reset.
it's tough, man. And he's probably gonna kick ass, whatever. But
He's going to be awesome.
the 450 is tough. The 250, don't get me wrong, it's you have less power, so you can set a bike up later. But now you gotta go fast. You got a 450, and you gotta make sure your suspension's good and stuff. And it's a big learning curve. Australia was tough for him. And that probably different gas and stuff. But a lot of these lights guys, it's a learning curve. I'm sure Jett learned the hard. When even though he kicked ass and won, but I didn't think it was tough compared to a 250, because your 250 get good suspension. The engine's not super fast. It's fast, but it's not
Yeah.
So bike setup wise, on the mechanic side of things, it's me. I've worked with younger riders moving to that next step. It's tough. It's a learning curve.
Well, think about just get a crank out of a 450. Just get a whole crank with a piston and a rod all connected together, and just hold that fucker.
Yeah.
And now get a 250, and it's just this cute little thing. But man, that 450, just think about that weight
Yeah, the
every
inertia,
single
everything,
time
it's-
that crank is spinning.
Yep.
That's a big
Yep.
piece of metal that's moving
And when the
super
track
fast.
breaks down, like your bike's gonna do stuff that you've never felt at the practice track, and like you try to replicate the practice track, but like, dude, it's you get to that race, it's freaking no joke. So, like I said, I'm sure he's gonna kick ass and be good, and he's probably one of the futures of the sport, but it's gonna be tough. Like the 450 class is no joke. So
I just can't wait to see it because I know I always go back to this is you look at the Ryan Dungeys,
Yeah.
the Ryan Villapotos, the Ricky Carmichaels, the Jett Lawrences,
yep,
the Eli Tomacs. If you were that great on a 250,
you're gonna be good.
you're going to be that great
Yeah.
on a 450.
No, he's just gonna be.
And
sick.
anyone that's saying that he's going to struggle or that he's not going to do well,
He's gonna be there. He's a
he's
winner.
going to be a fucking
even if
dog.
he feels off, like he's a champion, and champions they've got that mindset and they know what it takes. So it's like I said, going into as outdoor. Well, unless he rides some supercrosses this year,
That'd be sick.
I've heard.
Really?
We'll see. I don't know if it was just speculation, but outdoors ticket sales is going to be pretty good. I feel like for the promoter, because like that's going to be a good even TV ratings. That's like all right. Not only you got all the healthy guys, you got a newcomer, and it's going to be sick.
Bro, think about how good Prado is going to be.
If Prado stays healthy and he's already done outdoor stuff, that he's going to be good.
Bro.
And now that he's confident and he's basically back. I think his outdoor stuff's basically his GP stuff, refined a little bit, and he was happy with that. So I think it's going to be a good series. It's going to be tough.
What did you think, honestly, of Prado coming back? Like, you had to just be looking at that season. Like, what did you make of that from working around him in the past to then coming back to KTM?
This is my personal opinion, and I was just like, oh, dude, I don't know, man. I didn't know the inside, like what was going on at Cowie. I was one of the first ones when Prado came over to take him riding, and we just gave him our base setup, and dude, he didn't touch one thing. He was like grinning ear to ear. I knew it's not me. Like he was just like, and it was almost to the point like, hey, the past is a past. Let's like move on. And it took him out a couple of times, and it was just like every day, and he didn't touch one thing. And you're like, and the lap times were good. I mean, he's still new to Supercross, so he was learning, but it was just like, hey, you want anything? No, don't. It's fine. Don't touch it. I'm just gonna do laps. And dude, the first week he did like probably 4 15-minute motos, just lap after lap, grinning ear to ear. And even to this day, I don't think he's really touched his bike that much. With his mechanic Pedro and stuff, they've got a good base. But it was kind of an eye opener, and you're just like, it couldn't have been that bad. And then you're just like, and then you see what he's doing now. I kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
How that all went, but like, hey, that's what you left and whatever. But it's cool to see him doing good. And like I said, he is a very gifted rider. But outdoors is going to be a good series to watch.
Because I can tell you right now, brother, he is going to get some hole shots, and he is going to lead some first laps.
Yeah, and I think last week, and he was way outside the box and still gets the start, and you're just like, he's a good dude. Like you'll be in the doghouse, and our crew chief Carlos, he'll tell you the same thing. You'll be doing the doghouse in the gate, and you're like pushing the doghouse, and you're scared he's like his reaction time's there. Like you get that thing down, and you hear him going. It's dude's got cat-like reflex.
Is that what you think it is with Prado? Is it technique as much as it's just reaction time? Or
I
is
think
it
a bit
the
of
whole
both.
thing?
I mean, it's a bit of bike setup, but his technique is very spot on, and you can't teach that. I mean, we try watching videos and stuff, and it's technique for sure.
So, and his just like natural gifted reaction times, you think?
I think. I mean, you heard. I'm sure it was on public record, but he kind of said the Cowie was slow, and
he still got hole shots.
And he got Bud's Creek way in the outside. I'm like, dude, I mean, you can have a fast bike, but that's technique, So, like I said, I think, combination of mapping and stuff with start stuff, but he's naturally, I think that's just cat-like reflexes. I don't think you can teach or learn that.
Yeah, that's wild. So, I mean, yeah, you throw him into the mix. We saw him ride a pole the other day. Yeah. No one, I mean.
And I think he was still coming off, I think that was when he was coming off, still building to get back to racing again. And dude's gifted, man.
Dude, and the way that those Euros make their bike sound, just like, whoop,
yeah,
whoop, whoop. You're like, what the?
It's so much power. Like this bike, like if anything, we've like detuned him a little bit because it's just so, like you can ride it for a fast lap, but like you got to do 30+ minutes. So like it's usable, torquey and so.
How much do you think Ryan influenced the way that KTM went in their power direction? Because I remember, so I had one day at the test track So I was working at JDR.
Oh, yep.
And that was when Ryan started at KTM. And so we'd be at the test track at the same time.
Yep.
But he would be the only one that would be allowed to ride in the 20. Like he would do his 20 by himself.
Yep.
And then after that, all the JDR boys would get on the track. So I just get to sit and watch him. And I got so many just sick shots like filming him. But there was one day he did a 20 and you could have a conversation with someone next to you because of how quiet his bike was.
Yeah.
And then so I stood and watched him and I went up to him after the moto. I'm like, how many times a lap do you use the brakes? And he said there was two corners on the track where he actually touched his brakes. Land, roll, what? Just so wild.
That's why he was so, like, people say, they kind of give him shit for being, like, having a tape measure up his butt because he's so finicky on sag. But that rear had to be so dialed because he gets in and he just likes to roll on the throttle. And as soon as that thing sinks, he doesn't like that. So you gotta have it up and just so he could roll it because he was his roll speed was, especially when I got hard packed. Like that's when it was like, all right, you got to a hard pack track, it's on because he was so gifted. Like even that Suzuki 250F, that thing was nowhere probably near close to a pro circuit bike, but he made up for it with this roll speed. And sometimes a slower bike's faster in those type of conditions. So but also to our people always say like, dude, your bike's so quiet even back then. The Kropovich, dude.
They're so good.
It's like the quality, like not to crap on all the other brands, like, cause they're all, everybody's good, but like, dude, I'll go on a factory system. I'll go like 4 or 5 races on a whole system. And I just change it because of cosmetic most of the time. But
yeah,
dude, you hear other teams, they're throwing new silencers at it every moto. And dude, we go 30 hours, but it's just the quality. It's just, it's very high. It's very, a lot of people can't afford it. Like that's why you kind of, the other brands make it specifically for your, normal, like me and you, because we want to be cost effective, but the quality and just, dude, it's sick.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So Kiefer told me that I had to get one for my Yamaha. So I got one on my Yamaha. I love that exhaust. I love how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that it makes power.
Yep.
I love the way that it looks. Dude, that's
sick.
100% agree. I've never had one on a KTM. But man, I remember back in the day, so Australia was a really great country for KTM.
Yep.
So you know Leesky, Jeff Leesk?
I never met him, but I heard him before. Yep.
So he was the CEO of KTM Australia.
Yep.
So KTM, dude, before it was good in the US.
Because JDR, you guys originally
started.
I remember that.
So, dude, from when I was a kid, so you know Todd Waters?
Never. I've met him a couple times, but yeah, I know.
So he grew up with us.
Yep.
And so he was a factory KTM kid.
Yep.
This is probably like 03, 04, so he was KTM junior, him, Ty Simmons. So we were around a bunch of the factory KTM kids and they always had the Acros and they just always sounded so insanely good. And I mean, they make great exhaust for street bikes. They, it's
pretty much all MotoGP is those guys. And nowadays I think it's all computer, like everybody like uses like flow stuff and now it's like the computer does a lot of stuff and like, dude, when they give you something like, dude, it's good. And you're paying more, but dude, that thing's going to last, especially a customer, it's going to last you forever.
Yeah. Well, I've got, my 25, I haven't got my 26 Yamaha yet, but it'll just go straight on there.
Oh, bolt straight up and everything.
Yeah.
A Kropovich, I will say this, best built muffler for the money.
I've never owned one in my life. They those things.
Dude, $1,600, dude.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, you will. You'll do it.
Damn you, Chris Kiefer. They've got one. This part fits your ride. 1,300 with shipping. All right, let's go. So now we hurry up and wait. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, already.
That's unbelievable. That happened so fast. Because this order was over $79, it qualified for free shipping. And Kiefer was right. This might be the most well-built exhaust I've ever seen. And we wasted no time fitting it to my YZ450. The way the exhaust mounts on Yamahas is unique, but really simple. And in about 20 minutes, we have transformed the look, the sound, and the engine characteristics of this 450. All that's left to do is hit the track. As usual, Kiefer was right. The Acro took the power of the Yami and put it in all the right places. It was smooth off the bottom, but still meaty, and I loved the new exhaust note. To transform your next ride, hit the link in the description and head to motosport.com. And right now, if you head to motosport.com/win, you can enter their ultimate ride sweepstakes and win a YZ 450F of your own.
Even the GP guys, if you see like the Yamahas over there, Geyser's bike, because they have the sound limits.
Yeah.
Even how they just, not to pump up another brand or whatever, but like how they took the pipe and, for sound, would it go in front of the frame? Like, dude, the pipe looks sick.
Can you pull that up on there? I haven't actually seen that.
Once you see, we were talking about the other day, we're like, because for all these sound requirements, we're like, how is Suzuki and Yamaha going to do this? And then I don't know if AI heard us talking on our phone. Geyser's photo popped up, that same conversation I was having with Ian, our team manager. And right there. And that popped up. I'm like, okay, that's how they did it.
Wow. That is sick.
Like, they just think outside.
All right, I'm going to have to...
well, I think you're good because you don't have to worry about the sound requirements. No, yeah. But, like, I mean, that's freaking... It's huge and stuff. I'm pretty sure it weighs heavy, but it looks cool.
Do you want to just completely go off about the stupid sound regulations?
It is. I get, like, they're trying to...
Hey, why?
I don't.
Why?
I think I don't think it's so much for racing. It's for the backcountry. Like they're trying to get it so when people sell bikes, they ride at their local track and stuff.
Hey, fine.
But it's like
do it on a production bike.
But I feel like racing, it's like, dude, like I don't have an answer for you. It sucks.
Mate, honestly, I haven't spoke about it on here much. It is the most retarded thing. Yeah. Why? It can't, if you said to me, like, so if the AMA is like, well, like noise, it's very loud in the stadiums, yeah. I'd be like, all right, fair enough. But
they
rent the same stadium to monster trucks that have. So I'm like, all right, it's not for noise at the stadiums. I get the new Yamaha. They had to make a bunch of changes for the noise.
Yeah, and then they lost a huge ton of power I seen on the dyno charts.
But hey, that's good.
Honestly, these 450s are getting way too fast.
That new bike, so much better for me. Glad they did it. I'm fine with that. I also hate going to Parlour and not being able to have a conversation because of how loud it is.
Yeah.
Stock bikes, let's go. Yeah. Let's make them a bit quieter. But dude, you guys are losing points and dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
So I don't know. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this because I probably know too much. But like, apparently, I don't know how true this is, but they did like a survey to fans, and apparently they don't like the loud, being loud in the Supercrosses. But I'm like, dude, I took my kids a few years back, and I'm like, I didn't have headphones. I'm like, dude, this is loud. I mean, it's cool, but I'm like, dude, this is nothing compared to monster trucks. And
that's what I'm saying.
And even if they are a little bit louder, you're not really. Maybe the 250F, you're gaining a little bit of power advantage. But like, dude, the 450 class, they're so fast. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I think it's the governing body and stuff, and I more for the production side of things. But
you guys aren't racing production bikes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, dude, I don't know. I wish I had an answer, but it's like, it's just kind of. I agree with you. And I think the fan, like, if I'm a fan, like, I like the loud. Like, it's kind of.
Yeah, we're going to Supercross
because now it's to the point you're like they're gonna get. I'm sure I haven't been to a GP in a while, but it sounds like little tractors out there.
Well, that's what one of my buddies went to the Australian MXGP, and he's like, dude, you couldn't even hear Lucas's bike.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah.
It's like dead quiet.
Excuse me. Honestly, I don't know if it's a good thing they're getting so quiet because like there's other riders who's like our guys will come up on and they're like, and they might like hit him or something. Like, dude, I didn't even hear you. I'm sorry. Like your bike's so quiet. Where like, I think the Yamaha a couple years ago, you knew Eli was behind you because, but like, dude, even Eli's bike right now, it's so quiet and he's got a lot of power, but it's just like, yeah. And I think that's how like crash are going to have, like you kind of need to be able to hear him behind you. But I wish I had an answer. I like it loud. I don't like you go back to like when Mitch Payton had the polished, he was basically Pro Circuit was on every bike, but they were like super loud. And that was sick. Yeah. As a fan, like I remember my brother's practice bikes, it was all Pro Circuit, but it was just that aluminum or it was just like, it looked like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
rah, rah, and you're like, dude, but it was so cool to listen to, and now it's just boo, boo, boo.
Oh man, those 07, 08 PC bikes with like the little shorties.
Yep, the thing
Oh,
was sick.
dude.
It was sick, but
Yeah, it's just pissing me off, and it's just the back end bullshit that
well,
it
your poor
creates.
privateer. How's your like? Even right now, you go to Sound Tech, and your normal Joe guy who who can't afford to go buy a system like what we have, they're just out there, like I said, going for fun, and they can't even pass sound because they can't afford a brand new silencer, and half the time it's a stock bike. It's and they're losing their lap time and stuff, and it's like, dude, really, a loud isn't going to make this guy make or break. It's not going to make or break our day,
Yeah.
So I wish.
Detroit Supercross, 14 people got penalized
Yeah.
for sound piss.
But it was crazy because like they pulled me aside, and it's crazy because you're inside a stadium, and it's a lot of it's weather, how cold it is, and like, dude, I was like a couple dB higher than I normally am, but it's like you kind of like have to. But rules are rules, like it is what it is. But like,
But
I don't get it.
But why are we chasing this?
Yeah, like if he was a little over on sound, and when these guys are over, we're talking like 0.1, 0.2, but like. It ain't gonna make or break how fast they're going. But I guess it's in the rule book.
But why? That's my point. Is like, so it's funny. I remember just when I was a bit younger and whatever, you'd think about like the government and rules and like what is a rule, and it's like a rule is just a thing that a bunch of people believe in, and then decide to like follow that, right?
Yeah.
And so. It was really when like COVID was going on. I was like the whole but making a bunch of shit mandatory, and then, so like not opening that can of worms. But like in my head, I'm like, dude, as a population, you shouldn't just follow the rules.
No,
like just because it's a rule, doesn't mean you should follow it. Like yes, definitely
some guidelines.
Keep yourself out of trouble and whatever, but like you should push back on stupid things because, for example, like. Stoplights. We all should stop at stoplights. Like that's a pretty good rule. Like, and I think that's why it works.
Yep.
And that's why we respect the speed limit on the freeways.
Yeah.
But if they made the speed limit on the freeway 20 miles an hour, would people respect that law?
No.
Because it's a stupid rule.
Yeah.
Like there has to be this.
It's already like 70 on the 91, and I'm already going 80. Like it's just
But so like there's a point where you actually should push back on rules as like the general population. Yeah. You should go, hey, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. You guys need to change this rule.
Yeah.
And I think that the sound, perfect example of a nothing rule that has no bearing on actually anything.
Yep.
And you can't say it's for noise because the same promoter
It's doing monster.
It's doing monster trucks
it's probably
in the
triple
same. So like, let's break this down. This is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I get it's in the rules, and everyone has to follow the rules. Let's change this rule.
Like this
it doesn't help anyone.
It was St. Louis, or whenever, St. Louis this weekend, and it was cold. It's kind of outdoors. It was, and shit, I'm lost. Maybe I spent so many races. I don't know if we did sound. Detroit, we didn't do sound outside because it was too cold. And then they kind of did it last minute, and it's just like, why even do it? Like, everything went on fine. The show's going to go on. Like, it doesn't mean,
Yeah. Stupid rule.
Who got clipped? I think it was Shimoda and the New Zealander.
Cole.
Davies.
Yeah.
If that's not going to make or break his whoops, like, that guy's going to go through the whoops with or without that. It's like
1.6 seconds faster.
Yeah.
Not because of 1.2 dBs.
No. So it's. I think we need to adjust a little bit. We're a little bit too strict on some stuff. Our governing body.
Yeah, I like that. And look, you got people quitting. You got some weird.
Yeah, that's been
hasn't been a good year.
It's been kind of rough for them poor guys.
I think they bring it on themselves.
Yeah, it's tough. That whole. I mean, I feel bad for the. I don't like I said. You try to like navigate. You go inside and they're good dudes, but I feel bad for the Ezra thing because I don't know like if he was part of the Deegan thing, but I've heard like death threat like because. Deegan followers are, like he's got a pretty big following, and like I said, I know one thing in life: if I ever need a job, I don't think I'm gonna be an AMA guy because even if you make the right call or the wrong call, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's not fun.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how.
Same. Yeah, there's
Like that, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
In like my opinion.
Yeah, like you feel bad. Like I hope I don't get in trouble at work, but like the Tim Ferry's son,
Evan.
and then you see the Prado and Cooper Webb. Like I don't. To
Yeah.
me, there wasn't much. Like I'm glad I don't want Cooper Webb to get penalized because that's racing. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I don't want to see somebody blow their doors up. But that was riding hard. But like, how did that guy not get a -5 point, and then this poor guy? Like I just
That's what I'm saying.
That's tough.
Like
so,
what? Yeah.
Poor Evan Ferry's -5 points.
And
I
like,
didn't even know you could do that.
dude, none of it makes sense. And then you go back. I know you guys were on the other side of it, so I'm sure you guys were probably stoked.
Yeah.
But like, hey, I'm the biggest Eli Tomac fan of all time.
Yeah.
He just,
Yeah.
the guy almost hit him with the flag, and it's like, in Eli's defense, what's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, so the whole thing doesn't work. But if you go back to the footage of Jett,
I watched. You must post.
I
Somebody,
posted,
yeah, I
yeah.
watched it the other day, and I'm like, and he even looked back. Oh, frickin'. And then the other guys didn't even see it. But it's like, I think a lot of it too. It's like they're dirt bike riders, and like, I think some people like they think, oh, he saw that, but like, dude,
No.
when you're racing, man, it is complete opposite. You're tunnel vision, and you're just like, if you're going up, like it happened to Ryan the one year, he should have won Detroit, but it was an on-off out of the corner. We had a really gnarly AMA guy, Gallagher, back then. Ryan didn't even see it. Like it was the flag guy wasn't even waving it, but rules are rules. And he got docked positions for that. And then, dude, it's just, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And the riders, like you said, you're a rider. Like you're focused on I'm just trying to like get through this track, let alone like I'm racing guys. Like it's just hard to
the thing that
see.
The thing that pisses me off is that just nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like nothing changes. There's just zero, at least from my perspective, like there's zero consistency. So that's one thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
And then there's zero changes. So like you've got the Jett thing was a perfect example. So he got docked that win. Then he went out and crashed the next moto.
Yeah, that's when Bam Bam
Yeah.
accidentally came in. And,
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
like that changes how the guy does the next moto.
Yeah.
That changes the way because the points are changed. Like the
I
whole.
think everybody got, because I think the only person who didn't jump it was Hunter. Because I remember going
Well,
into
no, Eli rolled it.
Yeah, Eli rolled it, and or one of them did it. So we all went to the gate the next moto because there wasn't a decision. And then like they're making decisions, so we're getting ready to load the gate. I remember this race, and it was all messed up. And next thing you know, like you need that gate pick, like and then you get screwed. And I think he went from like first to whatever. And then I was with AP, and he got docked too, and it completely fucked our race. Because like Triple Crowns, you need gate pick, like that's very important, and it screwed the whole race up. But
well, and so yeah, Jett doesn't see it, and it's on the last lap. Like the race is actually done now. But then Eli, so the whole argument was like, well, Eli rolled it. Eli didn't see the flag either. Eli was already rolling the jump.
He was
he was solo second.
He was solo, and he just came in because he didn't have time to look. Where these guys are like, I think it was after that was AP, Anderson, and maybe Cooper.
Yeah.
And they were in a full-on heated, and they all boop, 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 jumped.
Yep.
And then, but they're like, dude, I didn't see the flag. Like,
But so the thing that annoys me, so like, all right, whatever. They docked all the guys that did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with it, but that was the rule, and then they docked the guys. So like, you can't really complain. But then the exact opposite thing happens to like literally the exact opposite scenario.
And both motos.
So the guy that wins sees it and then doesn't do it. And then all the guys that don't see it jump.
yeah.
Reverse scenario.
Yeah.
You're like, what are we actually up to here? And so it's like, this was obviously a problem in 2023.
Yep.
Like if you do that as a governing body, and like the reason why I get so pissed off is because literally my job is to be a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
So like I'm the biggest fan.
Yeah.
And I just am embarrassed and pissed off and angry. So like that's what I feel.
No.
I've got no horse in the race.
Yeah, no.
Other than like my job is to be a professional fan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now you fucking piss me off because I'm the dude. I'm the one that's cheering for this shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so then you just don't do anything about it except the worst thing, which is to do nothing the next time that it happens. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, maybe do like a time penalty. Like yeah, it was tough, but like maybe give them a couple sec each guy, and then that dictates, or even like even the, in my opinion, like I said, it's not my work opinion, it's my personal opinion. Like when Deegan did that little screw up, give him a point, not do it.
Give him a time penalty.
Give him a time, like kind of like they do in F1 or MotoGP or something. Like, like I said, I don't know. Or people keep talking about in helmet communication. I if you're gonna do it, I think it has to be just one solo person. And it's very small, like cross.
Just race director.
Because if you get me on there, I'm gonna be like, I have my son has the Cardo system on his helmet. I'm like, it's like a video game, and he'll be like, Dad, shut up, I'm trying to ride. But so you don't need that on there, but there should be like some sort of, hey, caution flag, turn one, something small.
100%.
And I know where it's everybody's got their opinions, but there could be something like as a dirt bike rider, these guys, they're riders, like.
Well, and it's safety.
Yeah.
It's like all of this, the byproduct of it. So I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I could see a world where you can talk to Eli and he can talk back to you.
Yeah.
Like if that's how far we want to take it, I'm interested. Like I'm down to see what that looks like.
Yep.
Is it the best? I actually don't know.
Yep.
But I know 100% for a fact that if they put one-way race direction, you would just alleviate so many of the problems. And so the other thing is, it's inbuilt security for everybody, right? Because so even like I talked to Danny Rick about it. So they obviously have like all types of communication.
Yeah.
And he said they still struggle. Like it never, so the crash where he broke his hand, they just didn't tell him in time and he came around. But Liam Lawson would have completely fucking railed both of them, except he heard it in the thing. So it's like, it's never going to be perfect.
But at least you're trying to take initiative or try to,
Yeah. And then when someone goes, oh, I didn't see the flag, that excuse is gone.
Yep.
So now it's like an additional security policy for the AMA.
Yeah.
Because now they go like, dude,
No, you heard it.
We heard, you heard it.
And the reason I got that, I said, I don't know if it'll work. Hope, they got just maybe try, but I got it for my son because I take him Paris mini night riding, and there was this blind jump, and there's a flagger, but sometimes you can't make it there in time. So I just got like, hey, there's a guy down, because he hit a guy one time, and it actually saved him this one time, and that's where I think maybe something like that. But it's got to be like very small chat, because these guys, they don't want freaking talk, somebody just yelling in their ear. Or like, like we have these leader lights that we run, you see on the triple clamps on Supercross. I don't know if they would see it, but maybe put like a red light or, something on their crossbar. I'm sure we could make something work. Just something like to try it. Hey, if it don't work, hey, we tried just to,
and that's all I want.
Yeah.
As a fan.
We took the initiative and like, hey, it didn't work out, but we tried something out of the box, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all anyone wants.
Yeah.
I think that the riders would be stoked, but it's like, whether it's the tracks and the riders are saying, you should change this, you should do that. Yeah, no. We need some in community. No.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is Supercross. This is the attitude that I hate.
Yeah.
And this is what it feels like, is this is Supercross, fucking deal with it. But that's not what gets said. They tell you shit, but when people, it's their actions, and it's like just nothing changes. Like literally nothing changes. So what are we supposed to think?
It's tough, man. Especially like you said, when you're on the
Poor Jay just got roped into me, just fucking absolutely sending it. He's like, dude, why did I come here, bro?
I'm good. I'm like, I get scared, like, because I'm like, there's stuff I agree with, like, and I'm sitting here like, oh, if Ian sees this, he's like, you freaking idiot, I'm gonna kill you. So I'm like, I'm treading it delicately.
These are my views. These are not the views of Jade Dungey or Red Bull KTM.
And I'm probably fine. Like, it's just, no, you got good points. So it's just, I think we keep doing the same thing over and over again. And like you said, it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. So if we just try something little, like even this year with the tough blocks, they took that, and that's been huge.
So much better.
Like even Eli, he like, there's a couple times he's been on the side of the track, and if that tough block would have been square, we're done. And he's just like that little stuff was something small, but dude, it was huge. So if we just do little stuff like that to elevate it, I think,
Amen, dude.
But I'm telling you, like, I know they don't talk about it enough, but those tough blocks have been game changer. The track even looks wider on track walk. And there's times you're on the edge of the track and your foot peg would have grabbed that thing and you'd have been done. But because that thing was at an angle, like, we just need to do little stuff like that to keep elevating. The bikes are elevating, the riders, like, we just need to keep doing the same on the officiating end of it too. So,
hey, way to put a positive spin on it.
Yeah.
I love that. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Those tough blocks are a game changer.
Yeah.
Dude, look at Cole through the whoops at Indy.
Yeah.
Just
right
like,
on the, and Dude,
You couldn't do that with those old tough
no,
blocks.
it would have grabbed your foot peg and you're done, and then it would have ripped. Even if you wouldn't have went down, it would have ripped out, come behind you,
For someone behind you.
and then you're done. So, like I said, there's been some little things, but like I said, we need to keep progressing our sport because that's just a little percentage. Like that little stuff's gonna be big in the long term, So
Well, and I think that it speaks to the hard work that you guys put in on the team front.
yeah,
With the bikes and then the way that the riders have elevated.
Yeah.
Everything has just elevated so much. And it's kind of like half my point with the privateer thing. It's like, it's not about privateers.
no,
It's if Jett Lawrence or if Eli Tomac has a falling out with KTM, says, fuck you guys, I'm done.
yeah,
And he gets a bike and rocks up to the race. Like if you're that fast, there's a way for you to be in the top.
you can make your bike competitive. He's gonna find out. Yeah,
So it's like I don't care who the person rides for. I'm saying that the delta between the best and worst guy is so far past what it's ever been.
Yeah.
And you just can't have the same criteria of entry.
Yeah,
And
no.
that's my whole.
It's like MotoGP,
That's my whole thing.
MotoGP or F1. Like I think the elevator sport has just got to be. Sucks for the privateers, and I know that's probably they're buying our bikes and stuff. But like you got to have the best of the best, and then there's got to be a way to just because we need like our sport's so sick, but we're just on the bubble of being like a MotoGP or like.
Well, and dude, I walked through a MotoGP pit, and all of those dudes
They're all like pumped to see you guys. Yeah,
so pumped.
the riders, they probably were losing their left nuts looking at Jett like.
Oh man, they were so stoked, like Pedro Acosta.
Yeah,
So, because Jett gave the trophy.
I seen the helmet. Yeah, and the trophy and helmet.
And dude, Pedro's just like frothing. But all the boys are.
And they're all they all ride moto for
All
cross
riding-
training.
Yeah. So our sport, and I guess as well, this is where like my fucking
Yeah.
comes from, is because I'm like, dude, I make a living off this shit.
Yeah.
Like I know where the trajectory, and I can see where it's going, and it's like, dude, everyone like I said it to Davey Coombs. There's a wave right now. Paddle.
Yeah.
Paddle, catch the wave,
Yeah.
ride the wave. If you miss it, you don't know how long until the ocean gives you another wave like this.
Yeah, like COVID hit and everybody bought like every manufacturer. I mean, everything, pedal, everything just went like this. And now you got that. And like, let's just keep growing it. Like if you got fans and like I said, we need to be on that MotoGP level and we're capable of it. It's just, we're just right there.
I know. And it just takes.
We just need that outside the box thinking to get us there. And it's like, we're just still doing living in the past and just kind of doing the same thing over and over. So.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'll change subjects. I don't get you in too much
Oh,
trouble.
you're good. I don't even know if I'm in trouble.
No, I know, but it's just funny. So Ian is unreal.
He's a bad dude.
Do you think people still sleep on Ian Harrison as like in terms of they don't understand just how gnarly that dude is?
Dude, just you look at his background, his racing, and then I actually like, and I probably never told him this, but I like listening to his interviews because he's like, his accent and stuff, he's more of like a F1 type, when he does his press conference and stuff, he delivers it like that. And it's not just like some knucklehead, just, whatever. Like, it's like, oh, this is a good interview. This is like MotoGP F1 type interviews. And he's just, he's got a good heart and he just wants the best. And he demand, he's got Raj in his corner and Raj is always pushing us. So I'm very fortunate. I've learned a lot from me, and it's just to have those guys mentor me and like looking up to him. It's still like, there's days I'm like, dude, I work on the same team as these guys. Like when I was little, they were like, Carmichael, and it's crazy. It's surreal.
You guys are so blessed to have what you have. And I feel like even now with Roger, like take it like, I guess a step up, but a step back from the team. He just gets to cook in the machine shop.
Dude, he lives in that machine shop.
Do his thing. Yeah. And then you've got Ian, who kind of stepped into that role. So now you've got the man free to do whatever the man wants to do. Yep. And then you've got his protege has stepped in for the day-to-day nuts and bolts. And Ian's the kind of guy, I wish he'd do this. I think he's too scared.
I think he'd do good at doing a podcast.
He would be amazing.
Because he's actually been doing, he did Swap Moto, and I think he didn't want to do it, but he did it, and he just a good personality to talk to. I think a lot of fans would get a kick out of what his insight, his background, and
dude, I just love talk like a normal conversation with him. Just when I go to the track, I was at Arlington. I talked to him for like 25 minutes,
He's got a good vocabulary. Like he's very well spoken.
Just such a cool, nice
Yeah.
guy to talk. Been around forever.
Yep.
And you know what? Another cool thing is he's never changed.
No.
So he talks to me the exact same way as he talked to me when I was a filmer
Really?
for JDR at 21.
No, he's
As
just
he talks to me now.
he's a very good, like very heavy with God, like very good person. Just a very good, yeah. Even when things get tough at work, he just always puts a positive twist on it, and he doesn't let the team get down a rabbit hole. He just keeps everybody just working hard. And hey, like last year was tough for the company, and between him and Raj, they kept the morale, like kept us going. Like there could have been times like, dude, I'm out, see you guys, but like they're just a very good leaders. I feel like, and it shows.
So how hard was that period of time for you guys to go through?
It was tough. Budget wise, I think was very tight. We still had the parts, like people, like anytime Chase had a problem, like it's because it's the Indian. But you're like, dude, shut up. Like no, this is the same caliper, whatever I've been using for the last. We have all this stuff in parts. It's fine. Financially, I think it was tough. Like we had a very cut back on, like just you can't spend stupid, frivolous spending. Like we were,
There's a lot of Frontier flights.
Yeah. No, I still got to fly, Delta and stuff, but like it was just you just had to be smart and just not just piss away money. So it was tough. And we're still not frivolously spending. We're still living in a budget, but they're giving us what we need to go racing. They're not nickel and diming that side of thing, and we still have, in my opinion, the best equipment that to this date. And like I said, I feel bad. A lot of people lost their jobs, but on the racing side, we were pretty fortunate, and it didn't really take away from last year's racing efforts either. So.
Was it one of those things where it almost brings the team a bit closer together because you're all kind of going through a hard time together?
Yeah. I mean, we all there'd be days like when we first heard the bankruptcy, you're like, oh no. And then, I said we were already our team's, it looks big on paper, but we're a very small team. Like say like other teams have 3 or 4 people to do one person's job, but we just got the one person. So it's a little bit smaller on that bit. So we are kind of tight. Like Frankie, he's one of my good buddies, but we're working, friends and stuff. But like I just went to his house for Easter, so it kind of tells you how close our Carlos and everybody. It's just very tight. But it brought us closer together, and it made us not when things got tough, it made us stronger. I feel like so, and I feel like this year has just made us a little more easier that way because we had to struggle and work past that, and now we're kind of out of the woodworks. I feel like so it's been a lot smoother too this year. But financially, the riders were taken care of last year. The parts were all good, so we didn't really lose much. It was more on the day-to-day on the production stuff. I feel bad for those guys, like the Austrians. A lot of guys got clipped there, and I think we got so big, and we just had to reel everything back in. But yeah, it sucks. You never want to see people lose their jobs. So like I said, I was very fortunate, but I feel for all the guys who did lose their job. That sucks.
Yeah, I can see how it would bring the core group closer together because you had a lot of outside noise with Chase not doing well.
Yeah.
And then the financial stuff with the brand, and it's still the same group.
Yeah.
And so you end up going through this pretty tumultuous time together.
Yep.
And you do end up coming out of it the other side because you only have to go internally to look for support.
Yep. No, and like even Raj and Ian said we won Anaheim this year. And he said, guys, there was times I thought you guys would just be like, I wouldn't be surprised if you walk in the office and said, hey, I'm out. Like, cause it was tough last year, and then you hear all some of the media, they don't know the whole situation and then they're just crapping on the brand. And it's just not it's just sucked. The morale was tough, but we just pushed through it. And when we won Anaheim 1, it's like, dude, it was like, all right, we're still there. We got this. So like I said, the racing side, like I said, budgets got tighter, but we really had the tools to do our job. So that was the good part, but still it was tough. But
so what's some of your career highlights, would you say, when you just dig back into the archive?
I think of my very first one, I was privateer. Sounds stupid. I worked for a local buddy, Spencer Daly. He's one of my brother's good friends and family friend. We got 15th and we beat Billy Nilinovich. And I'm like, no way, we just beat a Geico guy. And you're like, I think we got 15th or 16th. And that was cool. And then as I grew up, my really cool highlight was Monster Cup with Hill. And then...
Isn't he the coolest?
He was fun to work with. I think if he's just a McGrath. I feel like he kind of grew up in the wrong era. Him and Dean Wilson, I feel like they're so naturally gifted, and they're hard workers. I don't take any away from their careers, but they're just so like stuff. Justin, even his older brother does. They're just like, how can you guys?
Freaks.
They're just stupid, crazy. I
So Monster Cup was
Monster Cup was cool just because it was 450 and you didn't know how that was going to go. And then he was just close to doing that the whole thing, but they were coming in with the cameras, like they almost putting all that pressure, and he just had that little mishap and whatever. And then I think my first like, wow, this is sick was Des Nations in 15. I got to go work for Marvin because his mechanic Frankie had his baby.
That's what I remember.
So that was like my first like. And you're like trying to be like, yeah, we won, but you're like, oh shit, I'm in French gear. Sorry, USA. So that was it was cool, but you're like, oh, that was like my pride was up there. And then, every year I got, better, a topper guy. And then I think winning my championships with Chase, that was the first one. And then let alone do it twice. That was like, dude, I made it. Like, this is sick. And then you win the championship and you're like, all right, nothing changed. You feel like a normal person. But that was for me. I thought that was my high. And then winning an outdoor with Chase 450, that was like, you just keep like better in it. And then my first Supercross win, it happened to be AP's first Supercross 450. That was sick. And now I look back, I'm like, okay, I've won, like, it just like happened so quick. And like with Chase, it was 7, Eli, it's been 4, and they just rack up. So it's, yeah. So now you're like, all right, you get second place. You're like, you're still happy, but you're like, dude, that first is addicting.
The baseline changes.
Yeah. And yeah. And then anytime you get to go to Des Nations is really, really cool. And then even getting second in Matterley Basin with Eli, Coop, and AP, that was still like, it wasn't a win, but you're like still pretty proud of like to do what we did. So yeah, I've been fortunate, man. I got to work with some good riders. And like, if I were to be done right now, I'd be like, I'd have no regrets. Like, I just been very fortunate in my career, and it's been a lot of highs and lows. Oh, another good one was when Herlings came. I didn't get to be the race mechanic because Ruben, his practice mechanic, went to blind with him. But I did the bike, everything else. That was pretty cool to see him go 1-1 that day. And I was like, oh, I built that bike. And
did you tell Eli that you built that bike?
He knows now. I didn't tell him, but he knows now. And I remember Marvin got third, and he was so pissed. And I was like so happy because like I'm just thinking of myself, and he was so mad. But I'm like, dude, we went 1-1. This is sick. So that was pretty cool. But each time you just keep better in it. And yeah, it's like a roller coaster, dude. Just the emotion. Like you're good one weekend, shit, and it's addicting though.
Yeah.
So
what was that Herlings day like? Watching him do that.
It was kind of stressful at first because he came in and he didn't have so we're Dunlop, so he didn't have his Pirellis. So that on Friday was press. So we just made the tire work, and he was actually happy with it. But you're like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble with the sponsors. So the next day we had his Pirellis, and then it's a top guy and you don't know him, but it was the easiest day ever. He just, here you go, here's your stuff, and he didn't change one thing. And actually, I lied. Friday he did press, and he's like, oh, my engine something feels up. So I did an engine swap. There was nothing wrong with it. We just put a new one in just to be safe. So that was a little stressful. And then 1-1. And then he crashed, you're like, okay, well, this sucks. You just ruined your day. And then still won. You're like, what the hell? So that was
insane.
I still got I used to keep all the podium number plates, but at that time I have so much shit, so I ended up getting rid of it. Now I just got the ones sitting in my garage. But even now that's getting like overcrowded, but I still got the 784 sitting right there, and he had a little hand note, and that was pretty special. Because he's one of the great, that's at the time he's still young, but like, dude, one of the greats. So,
he's the Euro Tomac.
Yeah. So dude, I've been so lucky to work, to me, it's just every day, but like you sit back, you're like, dude, I got to work with all these guys, and it's wild.
Man, even when, like, obviously before you're doing this, I'm thinking about the guys you've worked for. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, you sit back and like, I don't really want to work for this many guys because you kind of want to stick with one, but like, I've been fortunate to work, work Kennard, and some of them might have not have panned out, but I'm still very fortunate to work with. Like even Tickle, like it was a good ride.
Yeah, yeah, and it would have to just add to your overall experience, though.
Yeah,
like you would want to stay with the one guy for the consistency and the results and the bond. But man, like just think about all the different looks you've got and all the different types of setups. And
it's challenging because each year you're like, okay, I got Chase one year, now I got Eli, and you always kind of have to like what makes this guy tick and what's going to work for him on chassis wise. So it's a new task, but it's tough sometimes getting them to learn what makes them tick. But once you do, it's fun.
So
it's rewarding.
that first win with AP had to just be the sickest.
It was just the monkey off the back because I think backing up to Detroit the year before,
Yep.
dude, it was 2 laps to go. And I think what was it, coming on lap 2? He had 1 more to go, I think. And I was just getting ready to write on the pit board. Like, no, I'm not going to bring it home. And as I got the pen out here, I look at the Jumbotron. I'm like, you got to be shitting me right now. It was just a mistake. I mean, honest shit happens, but it was just like, I was so gutted for him. And like, what do you go do to the guy? Like, he's just crying. Like, he wanted it so bad. So to see it made San Diego that next year so much more enjoyable and special because of what happened in Detroit. So, yeah. That Supercross wise, that's up there for me in the premier class of special.
Yeah.
So,
isn't he just the best?
Dude, we'd be online and just the joking around, and you can't get away with that with other riders, but that's what makes him tick, and it's fun. He's just an overall, like, what you see online that's him.
Yeah.
People are like, is he different? I'm like, no, he's just a genuine, like.
He's probably more cool.
Yeah, then you get the PG version, but then you get the crazy, like, it's just the stupid stuff we would do. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's just such a cool guy.
He's
nice.
Just down to earth. He gave you the shirt off his back, and even his teammates, he's like half the time more worried about like these guys than himself. Like, he's just a genuinely nice teammate. Like, and you can't find guys. It's hard to find riders like that who are just genuine, that friendly and nice. And he's had a tough year this year, so you really feel gutted for him. But I think outdoors he's gonna come back, and I really hope he picks up where he left off before his stuff was happening last summer. I think he can get back to where he was and get some confidence and get some results. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, the sport's better when AP is good.
The fans, they just go crazy for it. It's
dude, him and Malcolm.
Dude,
every single time.
They love it. That's my favorite part, watching opening ceremonies, just hearing like I said, I've been working for top riders, and each time they come out, there's the fans go crazy for each one of the guys. Like, for even Eli, Chase, and AP, they lose their shit, and it's just so cool. Like I said, that's my favorite part is opening ceremonies, just to see as a fan.
No, I'm right there with you. So, when you retire from being a mechanic, do you think that you shaking your head? You're like, I'm never.
I think about this all the time. What am I gonna do? Like,
but surely, like, there would be a position at the team for you to do.
I think when I get older, I want to be a crew chief. Like, you do that stepping stone, but my kids are young, so like, you want to be a team manager when it's all like, that's kind of like in our sport, the stepping stone you do. But I don't think I'm ready for that. Like, right now, I focus on, like, I just have one rider, and crew chief, you deal with 4 people, 4 ride. How many riders you have, all their shit, their mechanic shit. So I'm like, I don't think I'm ready with my kids being young, but eventually I like to be groomed into that and like work my way up. But the travel's starting to get me, but I still like the racing and the being like, it's like, if I were to be a crew chief and like, okay, this guy wins, it's not fulfilling because like I'm working on the bike. That's fulfilling, So as I get older, I'm sure it'll come like that. But right now I like being a mechanic. My wife won't like hear me say that, but I enjoy it still.
Man, the travel, like you were saying when you first got in here, and I say this as well.
Yeah.
So like, even you were saying, are you coming to any more races? I'm like, nope. It's just,
it takes a toll on you, dude.
Fuck, it's brutal.
It's not even like on the airplane. It's the LAX is bad. The way that people treat you, and like with this whole shutdown, it took us 3 hours just to get through security in Atlanta, and you're just like, and you're tired, and and you don't, like, I'll get in trouble sometimes because I'm in a grumpy mood, and the TSA sometimes rude, and you bite back, and they just, that's the tough part, is that part of it. But like, once you get on the airplane, try to sleep, but it's the being away from the family. I'm sure you're dealing with your wife right now. It sucks. Like, we're for FaceTime.
Oh,
I don't think I could do this job. FaceTime really saves it, but it's tough with the kids. And that's the hard part.
It's just brutal. I mean, I don't really know the way around it. Yeah. Like, obviously they've got to do X amount of races, but I don't know how the riders do it.
Dude, we had a weekend off at it like a few weeks back, and you just feel like, wow, I feel so good. I'm like, I can't imagine a rider, like, if we just give them 1, maybe 2, like, it would just kind of like really, I think maybe less injuries, keep them fresh. And then if you're struggling with something, it gives you time to kind of catch up. But like, dude, you got that break and you got to be on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do it. I think that's why I think Eli's got a good balance. Like my brother, he was just go, beat himself. And I think that's why his career maybe didn't go as long. But you got Eli's learned that balance with riding and taking time off. So I think a guy like that can go longer. But dude, it's grueling. And this SMX thing, like, don't get me wrong, I think they're paying good, but like, dude, you get to SMX and like I don't think there's one mechanic out there like, dude, I'm smoked.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think
we're just
there's-
doing the mechanic side. We're not even the riders. But it's this. They get this, so it's like, all right, we got to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't think any of the riders are
Yeah.
that into it.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, as a fan, I am.
I think it's sick. Like,
Yeah.
you come up with that rule. Like, people are like, okay, we need to take away races, but then you're like, well, you're going to do off season stuff, so it's like,
So the problem is, so I've thought about this.
yeah.
So there was like one press conference and one of the
I remember
guys,
SMX a couple years. Yeah.
and they asked about it,
Charlotte.
and then I followed up about it,
Yeah.
and it turned into a thing, and like Feld wasn't stoked, like there was a whole thing about it, but all of them just went off, and so some Feld people were like, yeah, but then they'll go and race these off-season races,
Yeah.
and I thought about
Yeah,
it
yeah.
because in the moment I was like, oh,
Yeah, you don't know what to
you got
think,
it
yeah.
good, but I thought about it when Anaheim 1 is in January, the first weekend of January. It means that they're not taking time off.
No.
So with the way that the schedule is, it finishes end of September, goes all through September. So then you've got October, November, December.
Yep.
But then when you've got to be ready at Anaheim, that means there's no off season.
No.
So are you going to pound out laps at the test track
Mhm.
for free?
Yeah.
Or are you going to take the money and pound out laps for 200 grand?
Yeah. And half the time it's show up money too. So it's like
Exactly.
the pressure's off, and you're like even Australia, like we didn't do the best, but you're like, dude, you're getting
good.
paid. You're getting paid. You're getting out of there safe. It was just to see how the bike was shaking down, and it's a win-win. But dude, and even do destinations now, like it's hard. You know, that's part of the reason to get riders to do it is because like, okay, do I sacrifice that 2 weeks off?
Only 2 weeks.
And then like you're not getting paid, which you're doing it for your country, but then, dude, our fans, like, there's a lot of good fans, but like some of them are so brutal. And like if you shit the bed and don't do good, you're a piece of crap, and you're just like, okay, I just did this for free. I screwed my off season up, and it didn't go good. And you're like, dude, this sucks. So it's like, dude, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, to that point, like
that makes sense. I agree with you. You said, yeah,
You know, they have to get ready because you've given them a date
yeah.
where they need to be ready,
And
and it's the first
yeah.
week of January.
And
So-
and I feel like maybe Feld will get mad at me for saying this, but like it's a 3-race series, like, which is sick. There's a lot of money, but like it's 3 races, and then you're taking so much away from the 17 rounds is even 12 rounds of outdoors or 11 is so freaking tough. But you got 3, and now you're making this guy, oh my God, he's our champion. But like there's 3 races.
yeah,
I mean, granted, Jett won, he's fat, you know, but it's like it's 3 races, and that's a lot easier than 17. I don't know. You can, you know, talk about it bad, good, wait till the cows come home. But I just wish, in my opinion, take that money, throw it into our series, and then just kind of
yeah.
go from there.
Well,
And give us a couple more weeks in Supercross off.
I would love. I don't know whether the guys would love it. I don't know what the teams would think. It just wouldn't work actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, just because of the football and baseball seasons, stadiums. But like, dude, why can't we go 2 rounds of Supercross, 1 round of outdoors, 1 round?
That's what they did back in the day.
Bro, that's the
Yeah.
best. If you could do that, but I think, and this is another reason, like when I criticize, I'm like actually trying to think about what's possible, why
Yeah, make it
you know what I
better.
mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not just trying to throw shit at the wall. So like this idea I think would be great, but it also would probably be hard to rent stadiums because then football's on
Yeah.
and like baseball. So like they're constrained. So I do
Yeah.
get that. But I mean, that's when I think that you could have the playoffs
Yep.
at the end of the series, and then the hybrid tracks.
And then it's a mix.
But
of
it's
the
like a
whole-
mix of everything because you've got
I think that'd be.
you've
cool.
got the Supercross champion that ends up winning,
Yep.
and then you've got the Motocross champion that ends up winning. But then there is a real playoffs, and like let's do 5
Yeah.
instead of 3.
Yeah, if they
and
did-
let's mix and match, and like I would be
Yeah.
signed up for that.
Yeah.
And then I think that it would kind of go towards your point where like you've got to do the whole series, you've got to be good.
Yep.
The training programs would change, the risk would change. Like there would be guys. I think one of the things that really hurts these dudes is just the grind that they're in.
Yeah.
Because there's no change. They're on the same tracks. They'll be
Mhm.
Star will have 3 tracks.
Yeah.
And man, like I was at Star at the very end of last season, and all the boys were just fucking over it.
No, I
And-
mean they're doing it just because of the pay. I mean
They're just doing it because it's on the program
Yeah.
and they have to do it. And Cole's like, bro, I just can't hit this whoop section again. I'm fucking mentally
just
cooked.
the mental strain of just
But
doing.
think about letting their schedule be changed a little bit.
Yeah.
We're here, we're there. It'll just feel like it would take the pressure off everyone because you couldn't just get into that crazy routine.
Well, like right now, you'll see. I mean, we're at the tail end of the season. Unless you're in the hunt, you're going to ride Supercross, but you're going to start seeing guys now. Hey, I just rode outdoors this week. And then next thing you know, he took that week off, rode outdoors. Dude, I just had his best race. And you're going to start seeing that now because it's the tail end. And I'm like, all right, I'm out of the championship. Might as well get ready for outdoors. So that's going to, like what you're saying, it makes sense what you're saying. So
it'd be cool. I think that would be super cool. But yeah, again, possibilities with the stadiums and the other series and stuff. So maybe that would never work.
Or just say screw it. I mean, we've always said like how they did Monster Cup. That was sick. You had your break. You got to shake down you rode a week, went to Monster Cup, got your bike decent, and then you took some time off, and then November 1st, boot camp, you're going for it. So, like, or do something like that, because, like, it's one race. It's just, like, our equipment, just everything. It's just more money, I'm sure somebody's making money, but
yeah.
it's tough. The teams, it's tough.
Yeah. But, yeah, so anyway, that was my rebuttal to the...
No, that's smart.
To that, because, yeah, like, and you think about, so Eli... he goes and does those races. When you do a World Supercross, you can't ride through the week.
No.
So like that actually is a vacation to him.
Yeah.
So,
and you're going to see cool stuff, and they're going sightseeing, and it's just like you got your. I'm probably get in trouble for saying this because I don't know how that whole thing works, but most of them are probably getting money.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it's just a fun vacation. I get to ride my dirt bike.
Yeah, and if he was at home, probably would have rode 3 days that week.
Yeah.
As opposed to going away, getting paid a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Not having to ride. Having to do one race and
low pressure. And I mean, they put pressure on themselves, but it's just go out and kick some ass.
Yeah. So different though, the level of pressure.
Yeah. Dude.
So yeah, you think when you do eventually stop going to the races, like what would be the role that you would, because they even do like testing.
I don't think I could stay home. I have to be at it's not fulfilling unless you're not there. You get you get FOMO. Like, I get a rider that hurts and you're watching on TV. You're like, I go full super fan and watch it. I'm screaming at the TV, come on. But like, you feel like you're missing out. Like, dude, I'm probably not, but I'm like, dude, I'm missing out this and this. Like, why am I not there? So if I had to, I'm just going to take me a while to get into that. But I think if I get my next step, if I get burnt out, being a mechanic, being a crew chief, because then I can still be involved. It's a couple days less off the road. You're not building the dirt bike, but you're still involved. So that's probably my next, if the opportunity shows.
Yeah.
itself.
So the crew chief, you're not on the tools as much.
Yes.
It's more of like a coordinator. So that means you're flying in on press day.
Yep.
Flying out on Sunday.
You're doing Friday to Sunday versus sometimes we're Wednesday to Monday. Flying, because we got to do, like this week we'll fly to Nashville Wednesday, build Thursday, race, or, get ready for setup, race, build on Sunday, and then 6 a.m. back home, and it's just boom, boom, boom. So it's only 2 extra days home with the family, but still that's
a lot.
You put that over 32 races, that's huge. So that's probably, if the opportunity presents itself in the next couple of years, probably, but I think I got another good year, 2 years in me to keep doing this.
Has Eli told you how long he's got?
No, and I don't ask him, and he looks like he's having fun, so yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's just been the dream scenario. I mean, all these guys, like, and if Kenny wins this championship, like,
oh yeah,
like what a fucking
they're
crazy...
changing the whole MO, because like back in the day, how Ian, a lot of the teams would do it was based off McGrath. Was it 26, 27, and after that, you're kind of used. You're not going to win a championship, so that's how. When you hired a rider, it was off, be based off that. Well, these guys have completely everybody screwed that whole scenario up. So like if Eli were to do this, he's blowing like the door wide open for how you sign people, to be your top guy. So yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, you think about it, you're like, oh, I was 32 once, and you're like, that's not that old, but I just think they've changed the car. Like even why Ryan retired, you're like, okay, Carmichael only did this till this. Yeah, I got it. I make it to here, I'm out. But now you're seeing like he regretted, I think he regretted that, and they came back again. And I'm sure Villo probably has no regrets, but I'm sure he, was lost there for a little bit. So I think it's cool they've changed the MO. Wyndham did it, but these guys are doing it like winning, consistently. So I think it's kind of
cool. Like still in the championship hunt.
Yeah. So
how was that season with Ryan when he came back?
It started off good, and then I think the Bud's Creek, I think he started searching a little bit, and I think
the expectations started.
Yeah, and he's like, and I think when these riders, they're gonna win. They in their head like, I won, I got it still. When you take that time off, like, come on, dude, like you're it's gonna be tough. And then he's got a family, but he did honestly better than I thought he was gonna do. Like not a mean way, like these guys are
the level.
Yes, and if he's got a family, you're gonna risk Jett, you and Jett come in a corner and you're going to let off. Like, this guy doesn't have nothing to lose. He doesn't got a family. Like, he's not worried about getting hurt. So I didn't know how that was going to come into play, but he did good. And I think
unreal.
Yeah, and then the first race, he was fourth, third, and then
Yeah.
and then Bud's Creek. I think it was just kind of the season took a toll on him. He was going to come back, I think, for Supercross, but he's like, nah, the ship sailed. But he finished it out like a man, like did
He crushed it
and did good. And I think if he would have came back the year after that, we learned a lot about that new chassis. I think he was fighting a little bit chassis setup too that year, and it was outdoors and it was tough. If he would have waited one more year, I think that would have been. He probably would have went more, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. He had fun. I don't think he has any regrets. So, and I was supposed to come on here. I was going to mess with him. Like, yeah, because I just saw the corn shoot.
Yep.
And I was going to tell you, like, he's got like some corn fetish for all that, He was like, don't say that. But no, I was just messing. But no, that was, I heard you guys talking about the corn shoot not too long ago. And I was Wes.
Yeah.
He just did a podcast and I was watching. I didn't know it wasn't going to happen for the longest time.
Oh, man, that was
I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, it was the most stressful deal.
And then I didn't know until like maybe a year ago, you were Ryan's first podcast. Like, and then I heard them a lot.
Ryan was my first.
That's wild.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's probably Ryan's first podcast because I don't think he's ever done one until then.
And you know what's crazy? And I've told him this, but so I had this whole different. Well, I just never thought that this was anything that I would do.
Yeah.
Like I was full film dude. Like that's the level of film stuff that I used to do. That was my job.
Yep.
And then we did it because Malott was like, had been telling me for years, you need to do a podcast. You got to do a podcast. You got to do a podcast. And I was like, nah, that shit's fucking lame. I'm not doing that. And so then he like pretty much made me do it.
Yep.
So then we did it. And then, dude, your brother came up to me after it. And I was like, oh, it was cool. But I didn't really think anything of it, you know? And he came up to me and we had a beer. And he was like, that was really cool, man. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
No.
You did a really good job. He's like, I think you have a gift.
Yep.
I think that if you wanted to take this seriously, that you could make something of this because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And
you got him to talk a lot. Like some of the stuff he's saying, I'm like, man, I can't believe he's opening up. So that's you have a good gift for doing that.
Well, and dude, like just credit to him because I didn't see myself like that. I didn't think that he changed the way that I looked at all of it. And he definitely gave me confidence to actually turn it into a thing. So like if he never, even if I did that,
you would have never.
If he never said that to me, I don't know whether I would have kept doing it.
How many episodes in now are you?
500.
Jeez.
Well, this will be probably like 397. But then we've done all these other like Supercross companions and live shows and like all of that stuff. So it's like it's 500 overall.
Wow.
But yeah, almost 400 one-on-one sit-down interviews, 3 hours long. This has gone 3.5 hours already.
That's what Ryan said. He's like, I'm like, what are they going to talk about? I'm like, don't worry, you're just going to sit. Next thing you look up, you're like, oh, it's already 1:33. Like, all right. And it feels like it's only been like an hour.
Oh, it's insane, though. But yeah, if he, like, it was just such a cool thing. And I'd worked with him, the funniest part, too. I'd worked with so many times and left the track being like, fuck, I can't stand working with that guy.
No,
because he was so locked in and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
He kind of like helped me understand what a rider actually goes through.
No, it's mentally like that's why when like say if a guy like a rider snaps, I don't take it personally. There's so much pressure, they're pissed off. It's not directed towards you. And it took me a while to learn that, but it's like that's just how they need to deal with it and don't take it personal. It's just there's a lot of pressure on them to perform. So
oh man, and I remember we were at the Baker's factory one day. It was before Daytona. So they were doing Daytona testing.
Oh, I bet he lost his shit.
Oh, and I was there filming this little video for Red Bull.
Yep.
And he just didn't give a fuck.
No.
And like, fair. But my neck's on the line.
Yeah, you're getting paid. You gotta go this.
They're paying me to do this video and then he doesn't want to do it.
That's how all the top riders are. They're just like, And
I'm like 23. And then I'm like, I need you to hit the whoops one more time. And he's like, you must be out of your mind.
Did you do it?
Like no.
Really?
No, he was like, I'm done. And I was like, all right, fair enough. I think Marv ended up getting a couple like extra pickup shots.
So I remember that one year at Baker's factory, it was with Marvin. He'll probably get pissed at me saying this. It was Marvin, Anderson, and him. That was one of his toughest years.
I was there for that.
That's okay. That makes sense because they would kick his ass during the weekend.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, during the week, and then they'd show up and Ryan would perform, and they're like, "How the hell? Like I'm beating this guy," but he would get mad because One of them would cut the track. One of them would destroy his rut, and he was like his biggest pet peeve. And he would.
That's because he trained at Carmichael's.
He would complete, yeah, and they would never like if somebody wrecked the rut, you got in big trouble. So they were just blowing shit left and right. So he would have complete like big meltdowns during the week, and then you get to the race, and he was like, he'd bring it, and then he was fine. But yeah, those were some challenging times, and you got to see.
I was there for all of that, and I had to try and do my job. But so imagine. I never got to experience. Like and don't get me wrong, he was always very nice to me, but in that working environment, like he was intense, very focused. There was a lot of pressure, and you could just tell it didn't come easy to him. Yeah. Like I would do a lot of filming with Kenny, and we would go and
he liked to.
We would drink beers after.
Yeah, that's what made him. Yeah, he just loved it. But Ryan was just so like, I have to do it black and white, this, and this, and like. Most of the riders get mad, but they don't care about. They just care about themselves. Like
sure.
Like, but they have to. Like you're in a. So like they don't
because they're struggling.
Yeah, so they have to focus. Like it's just tunnel vision, and like I get it. That's why like when they said, "Fuck," like they just freak out. You're like, all right, they're just they need to take it out on somebody, and all right, take it. Like I'm just the bystanders, and I don't take it personal. It is what it is. So.
But yeah, I learned a lot from your brother in that way.
Yeah,
and then like you fast forward, and I'm in that same scenario with Coop last year, and it's just like. I'm out.
Oh, dude,
I'm out the way.
I couldn't imagine. I've seen that firsthand. You're just like, oh,
he's a fucking beast.
You're like, holy shit. That's why, like last year, I would fuck with him. This year, like, you don't fuck with Coop because it gives him like confidence. Like, I started fuck with him. I did like, who's your daddy? And then he made a shirt, I'm your daddy, and then he gave it to me at the end of the race.
No way.
But it was more in good fun. Like, I like Coop. More of like a friend. Like, but you don't poke the bear because he thrives on that stuff. So this year I've. Hey, Coop, how you doing, buddy?
That's awesome. But yeah, when your brother said that to me after we did that show, I took it really to heart because of like I'd never really had that interaction with him, and it was like I didn't expect anything from it. But yeah, like I wonder what I would have done if he never said that, and he didn't have to say that. That was just completely
him being
him being him. It was cool.
That's what I was like when he came. I was like so stressed, like dude, I'm gonna come. What do I do? And he's like, dude, don't stress. He'll talk to you, and you just okay, cool. And that's how it's been. It's like, all right, it's just like we're at the track bench racing, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, 3.5 hours. We should probably wrap it up.
That's why, wife's we got Disneyland tomorrow, so I gotta go.
Yeah. What do we miss? We miss anything?
No.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
We could do this again sometime.
Hopefully, Eli can pull this off, and then maybe we do something after that.
Dude, yeah. My dream 100 hours.
What? So I've been so go. I saw you do the Joe stuff. I need to watch some of that.
Have you seen the trailer or anything?
I saw the trailer, but I never watched the actual.
Can you pull it up? Go to the bit where we're on YouTube or Instagram. On YouTube. Go to the bit in the video where we're going to all those ramen restaurants and shit. Bro, we got so fucking drunk. It was the best.
It's actually funny. I this weekend, so Frankie, people are going to be like, you're racist. We're not racist. There was this Japanese old lady sitting in TSA pre-check, and it's early in the morning, like 5 a.m., and Frankie goes, how did Joe do last night? So we're all just like early dead laughing. So I told Joe about it this weekend.
Bro, he would have thought that was a funny shit.
He was laughing.
So just pause it for a sec. So, dude, the funniest shit ever. So, man, he cracked us up. Did you see the bit about him, like, with Tomac signing?
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, dude, is he serious? And then he had you going. He's like, I'm just fucking with you.
Because you don't know with that kid. Like,
he's got such a
So... it might fuck up that recording, so maybe we'll just put it through the TV. Maybe just make sure it doesn't ruin that. But so, like, dude, wasted by this point, and I don't drink.
What are you guys having, sake bombs and stuff, or what do they have over there?
Nah, I don't even know what it was.
Just like whatever, I'll take it.
Just whatever. But I was like, I don't really drink, and I was like, I'm not drinking. Like, I'm doing whatever. So we're in this restaurant, bro. We're fucking lit, dude. It was so funny.
Wasabi.
And so, like, they're just bringing out all this meat, all this food. We go to karaoke. Like, dude, it was the funniest night, but we're, like, proper wasted here, eh? Makes me drink this horse cum drink. Like, dude.
Well, hey, then, so Cam, Hunter's mechanic, used to be
his
mechanic. And I remember the mom, is her name I?
Yeah.
She likes whiskey. And we were during COVID, and she had private whiskey, and they would always be like, let's have some whiskey.
Dude, so his granddad is with us. his auntie, his uncle, and we're just like drinking
I'm so
and
fucked up like
eating.
my mom.
Dude, look at it, just throwing them back, bro.
Dude, look at that.
And the food was just unbelievable.
That's so cool.
But anyway, so Joe, pause if you want. So Joe, I couldn't put it in the video. You know, I might do. It'll just get rinsed. But so we're just fucking around, and I'm like, "What's your favorite track?" And he's like, "Are you kidding me? It's Gren Heron." And I was just like, "You
Just dying.
didn't just say it." And he's like, "You're gonna get me cancelled." And well, fuck, bro, it was the funniest shit. But dream bucket list 100 hours,
That is so cool.
the Tomac Ranch.
Dude, it's sick. So like just pulling in there, it's just like, wow, and it's so peaceful, and you like pull in, you're like, wow, it's beautiful. Like,
Unreal.
and you like the drive to get there. I've always heard about it, but I can see why he
doesn't leave.
He does. Well, I think his drive is like maybe half-hour, but it's such a peaceful. And I think now, I don't know if he owns a Tesla, but it's got autopilot. So I think he just, when we were there, he's like, I just got autopilot, and he was all stoked. But like, it's so peaceful. And then you pull up the horses, the cows. You're just at relaxed, and you can have good days. And when we test they always take lunch. So at 12 o'clock, hey, and Kathy, the mom, she makes lunch, and it's homemade, and you're just like, dude. So when we go testing, we get spoiled. And then she makes cookies, and you're like, dude, you're gonna get us fat. And just the nicest, like when it comes to racing, they're very serious.
Very serious.
But very nice family. Very, you know, the grandkids, are all over there. And even the brother, like I met, they're just really good people. It's nice to like be around that. Like it's cool. It reminds me of my family, like very, you know, they're always together, and it's very cool to see. So.
So, well, maybe we'll drive the Sprinter up there one day.
Next time we'll test and bring the Sprinter.
Yeah, maybe Eli will let us do the 100 hours. But, dude, go hunt with him. Go flying in the plane.
Dude, the stories they tell about the hunting, because he lives on some property, and he's like, he's got the camera, the hunting camera. He's like, yeah, I had a bear there last night, or a mountain lion.
Did he tell you about the story when the bear was at the back door? And
oh, yeah. And then
his
dog.
wife just opens the garage.
Yeah.
To be like, what's going on? And there's a bear.
Yeah. And she said he was bare ass naked. Like, like.
Yeah. And he's like trying to, it was so funny because he's like, dude, I can't remember how detailed he told the story on the pod, but it was at Washougal like 2 years, 2023, that it happened. And then we did the Alpine Stars.
Oh, you guys did the ride day.
After it. And so I was just chatting with him and he's like, dude, you want to see some crazy shit? And then showed us, he's like, man, I figured out that day I would never be a Navy SEAL. I was dropping shotgun shells. He's like, I was all over the place. The bear's right there. The garage door's open. I'm naked. I've run in to grab my shotgun. He's like, chaos, bro, chaos.
Dude, it's funny because like I think his family they came to the race the last couple times, and the kids are wide open, but he loves it. Like it's like most guys are like, no, I need quiet. He's like he thrives off like, and the kids are awesome. They're just. I think he's got three, and the ages all vary, but the little one's like, dude, he is
savage,
wide open, and he tells me the stories, and he just got him into riding and stuff, and guy's got his hands full, but he knows how to, keep his home life and his professional. He's got a good balance, and I think that's why he's able to do this for so long. He's just got a very good circle, and his day to day, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I just told him like, whenever you're done, like you need to teach this shit because like you make my life so much. Our whole team has just been like cloud nine. So.
Dude, so cool. Well, this was awesome. Dude.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks so much.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Dude, you and your brother, we should.
Oh, we do to both of us at the same time.
That would be.
Good. You'd probably get some like really bad stories, but it'd be good for for the viewers.
I think it'd be sick. You'd probably bring out a version of him too that like people don't normally get to see. You know,
and that's what's cool. Your show is like you don't even feel like you're the camera. You're just like talking, and you bring like just natural conversations. I think that's what makes it so enjoyable.
Well, I'd be sick to get the two of you.
We'll have to make it happen next time.
He'd be into it.
He would love it.
He'll listen to this.
He's got time. He's retired. He's got time to kill now.
He's just killing, counting his money.
Yeah, give me some of that money.
Jade Dungey, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys.
This was awesome.
Appreciate it.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.